right now. Thank you.
Awesome.
So what I'll do is, because I didn't record all of that, what I'll do is I'll record the video and I'll post the video about the blue moon and all of that, because I didn't record all that. So I'll do that. But thank you for reminding me. Okay, anybody else have any questions or any good reminders like that? Thank you, LaDonna.
So I have a question. When you say bathe, are we talking from the head all the way down? Like, whenever you take a spiritual bath, do you always bathe your head as well?
You can, yes. The goal is to always bathe your head if you are able to, if you are capable of doing so. If not, just take a couple of drops of the water and sprinkle it at the top. Thank you so much, Robbie, for putting that in the chat. But sprinkle it at the top of your head if you can, okay? So if you are able to, take a couple of drops of the water and sprinkle at the top. And the reason that you want to cover your head is because you want to make sure that you are cleansing your crown. It's about that crown chakra energy. So make sure that you are cleansing that. That's why you want to make sure that you try to submerge your entire being if you can. But if not, just at least sprinkle a few drops if you can. Or you could soak a white cloth or a white rag and you can drape that over the top of your head. You'll see some people do that as well. They'll wet the rag in a spiritual bath tea, and they'll just drape that over top of their head, just once again to cleanse that crown chakra. Anyone else? No problem. Okay, so candle magic, candle work that you could do during this time. Once again, the veil is very thin, that connection between the physical realm and the spiritual realm. With that being stated, you want to be very, very mindful about the candle magic, the amount of magic that you are doing during this time, what you are asking for, the desires that you're putting into the universe. You want to be very mindful about that. The veil is thin, okay? Be careful what you ask for. Be careful what you ask for. Be very clear with your manifestations during this time. Be very clear. Be very intentional. If you need to say names, but be very intentional. Don't forget what I said earlier about the energy. During that waning period of the moon is when you will start to see your manifestations happening, where you will start to see them occurring, okay? Now, if you are not specific, if you are not clear, you will be even more shocked and more surprised by what you are seeing, okay? Now, I told you change and evolution is already going to come, and it's already going to come in ways that you do not expect. So it is important that you are very, very clear about the changes in the evolution that you desire, so you're not super shocked and super surprised. Now, for candle magic, stick to white candles and blue candles if you have it during this time. The white for purity, or also representing Obatala, and then the blue candle, representative, of course, of the blue moon, and for Yemaya. We know full moon energy, Yemaya is responsible for full moon energy, okay? So make sure that we are white and blue candles only. We're sticking to that as much as possible. Now, this is the full moon. So during the full moon, preferably, this is when we are manifesting cleansing in our life. We're manifesting purity in our life during this time. So we're releasing things that no longer serve us, okay? So this is burning ceremony time, where you can practice a burning ceremony. This is also where you can manifest using the strategy of, you write down things that you want to release, and you can take that to the bottom of your candle. But the difference is, with the candle magic this time, you want to bury the candle. If you choose to do the release ceremony in which you write down what you want to release and you tape it to the bottom of your candle and you light the candle, as soon as the candle burns out, you want to bury the candle. You need to bury it at a distant cemetery, somewhere far away from your home. As soon as you bury it, you turn your back and you walk away from it, and you never look back. Never look back. Or you can leave it at a distant crossroad. If you don't feel comfortable going to a cemetery or a graveyard and digging, I understand, okay? If you don't feel comfortable with that, find a distant crossroad, a distant intersection, a crossroad, okay? Train tracks, anything like that. You will leave it at the crossroad. Turn your back. Don't look back. Don't look back. That's the key, okay? You turn your back and you don't look back. So that's if you choose to have your candle and you tape your releases to the bottom of the candle. If you choose to do a burning ceremony, what you will do is you will, on a piece of paper, you will write down what it is that you want to release. Whether if it's habits, it's toxic relationships, anything that no longer serves your highest supreme energy, whatever you want to call it, name it, write that down on a piece of paper. You will take that outside of your house, outside of your home, and you will burn it away from you. So essentially what you are, you can put it in a pot, you can hold it, whatever, but you will burn it, turn your back and walk away from it, okay? As it's burning, turn your back to it as it's burning. Once it finishes burning with the ashes, you will do the same process with the ashes. You can release them at a graveyard, at a cemetery, or you could take them to a crossroad and you could release them at a crossroad. You don't want to surround your house with the ashes of the things that you are releasing, okay? You don't want to do that. There's also other witchy stuff that you could do with the ashes, but we ain't gonna go there, you know, we're not doing it.
It's counterproductive to write like your I guess like your manifestations and your and like the things that you want to release on the same piece of paper.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't mix the two. So the things that you want to release, you want to keep that separate from what you want to manifest because you handle them differently. So the things that you want to manifest as far as hold on to in your life, the things that you want to keep in your life, you want to have that on a separate candle. You want to keep everything separate because you got to remember when it comes to release, you're going to bury that candle. And when it's something that you want to hold on to and that you want to keep in your life, you're going to recycle that candle. Okay? So you handle them completely different. So you don't want to put them together. You don't want to, do the same thing. It's two different processes.
Excuse me, Queen.
Go ahead.
So about the when you burn the candle or if you burn the paper, and does it have to be at your house? Because I'm at work right now, and I'm working all weekend. I just want to do it now this weekend. So it doesn't matter if I'm at work. Can I burn it in the backyard at work?
You can burn it wherever you feel comfortable burning it. So if you feel comfortable burning at work, burn it at work. But once again, make sure that wherever you are, it's a place where you can release it and you'll be far away. Okay. So if you, with the ashes, I don't know if you don't want to leave the ashes at your job. You know what I'm saying? Like you can burn it in the back or wherever it's safe to burn it, but you don't want to leave the ashes at your place where you work at.
Right. And can I leave them? I'm sorry, excuse me, but like overnight, can I leave them overnight and then in the morning take them to the railroad tracks?
Yes, you can do that.
Okay.
But you just want to make sure that within 3 days, you get rid of those ashes. You don't want to hold on to those ashes. So you have up to 3 days to get rid of the ashes.
Thank you.
No problem.
Question. I currently have the 7 African power candle burning. Is that good during the new moon or should I light a blue candle?
That's okay during this specific new moon. The 7 African powers candle is okay, but also couple it with the white candle. Okay, couple it with the white candle. Burn the 7 African powers candle, but you don't want to do your release ceremony with a 7 African powers candle. Don't do that. Okay, don't do anything dealing with release with a 7 African powers candle. You want to get a white candle or a blue candle for that, or a black candle, but don't do any release with a 7 African powers candle.
Okay, no, I did my manifestation on the 7 African power candle. Okay, I'm gonna light the blue with the release. Thank you.
Okay, no problem.
I got a question.
Yes.
All right, so when you do your release, is it possible, you write it out? Am I supposed to put it under that candle, let it burn, and then can I burn the paper and then get rid of the ashes within the 3-day cycle?
Yes, you can do both. You can do a combination. So you could put the put what you want to release under the candle, and then you can burn the after the candle burns out. Then you can burn the paper and do the release ceremony, the burn and release ceremony with the paper, and you know, get rid of the candle, bury the candle, and everything. You can do both at one time. That's actually what I do. Okay, I do
Okay.
everything.
All right, bet.
All right.
Question.
Yes.
Can
Okay, we can't. You on mute now, so we can't hear you.
oh,
We hear you.
sorry. Okay.
It's okay.
You said you have to bury it at a graveyard or at a crossroad. Is that what you were saying? There's no other
Yes.
option.
Yes. No, the reason that we bury it at a graveyard or at a crossroad is because that's associated with Legba.
Okay.
So I'm sorry. That's associated with the Legba. So you want to make sure that it's at a graveyard or at a crossroad, one of those two.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else? Any
I have
questions?
a question.
Go ahead.
So if I burn, you know, what I'm releasing, in a pot, should I be doing anything with that pot, once I'm done, like cleansing it, and can I like reuse that pot for like other things, or should I just like leave that pot alone?
So actually, in one of my mentors, she's a priestess of Mommy Walter. She does her release ceremonies, and in her backyard, she actually has like a big bruja cauldron pot, like a big, huge pot, and that's dedicated solely to release ceremonies. So that pot is not used for anything else. No one cooks or eats out of that pot or anything. It literally stays outside because you don't want to bring it in your house. It stays outside and it's used only for release ceremony. So if you have a pot that you want to dedicate to that, then definitely do that. But I personally would not advise like using a pot that you want to cook with or, you know, use again within your household. I wouldn't advise using that for a burning ceremony.
Okay.
That was a good question.
That definitely was a good question.
I have a question. You said, be sure. So do we need to do the ceremony outside? Do we need to burn the candles? So don't do this inside your house.
No. You can burn it. If you're doing the candle, putting it at the bottom of your candle, you can burn the candle inside of your house, but you need to get rid of it outside your house. Now, when you burn in the paper, you need to burn the paper outside of your house, okay?
Right.
And it's because it's a transition, okay? So what's happening is it's a transition of elements. So you want to be mindful of burning the paper inside your home because you can't control the release in the next realm, okay? So you want to be mindful of that. So burn that outside. Not in the house. Anyone else? Any questions?
Does the candle have to burn within the 3 days for the release?
No, you just have to start this process. It's best. I'm not going to say have to, but it's best to start this process within 3 days. Okay. So it doesn't have to be done within 3 days. And I'm laughing because, you know, that's how people try to scare folks. I feel like in spirituality, they'll be like, oh, if it don't burn within this amount of time, then that means that no. It's none of that type of stuff. Okay. You just need to start this process within 3 days. And the reason is because the full moon energy peaks today, but it lingers for 3 days after the peak of the full moon. So that's why you want to start while this full moon energy is high. Okay. But it's the candle, whenever the candle is finished, just let it be finished. The main thing is that you want to be mindful of releasing, releasing is a real thing when you're doing altar work or candle magic, spiritual baths, anything that you're doing to move and to transmute energy. You want to just state it, believe it, manifest it, but to really manifest it, that means that you just got to let it go. So when you burn the candle, we don't even watch the candle. You just let it be. Let it be. Don't even watch it. Don't hoard over it. Don't look at it. When you're done, you'll notice it's done. Your spirit will move you to check the candle, to look at the candle. You'll know when it's done. But just anything, don't hover over it. To manifest, you really got that process of just letting it be. That's the faith process of it. You know what I'm saying? That's the believing, the for sure. That's the I am process of it. That's the calling the energy and trusting that the energy is yours and you got it, you know. So just releasing and just allowing things to be. Don't overly track anything. Okay, just allow it to be. And when your spirit says let it go, let it go. When your spirit say, okay, it's time to go take that candle out the house, go bury it. Or if it's a manifestation candle that is something you want to hold on to, when your spirit says you need to take that candle to the water, you'll get the urge to go to the water, you know. So like for myself, I'll start smelling the beach. I'll start smelling the water, you know, and don't even know why. I feel like I could smell water. You'll start to feel it. You'll crave it. You'll start to have visions. And that's when you know it's time to go to the water. You know, you'll start to have dreams about the crossroads, or you'll have dreams about a train will come by in your dream. You'll have dream about death or something like that. A lot of people dream about death and they get scared, but it's not always a negative thing to dream about death. Death just simply means to release, to transition, to move on. Death could also be a sign of change. So dreaming about death is not a negative thing. We have to release the negative associations we have. It's just change, move on, transition. So when you dream about death, that may be your sign, you know what? It's time to do some altar work, or it's time to clean off your altar. Some of the things that you have on your altar that you need to release, you need to go ahead and take it to the graveyard and go bury it, or, you know, take it to the crossroad. Those may be some signs that you pay attention to in your dreams that you know it's time to do something else.
Is there a certain way you position your manifestation and your release candle on your altar? Is there like a certain structure?
That's a great question. For the manifestation candle, for things that you want to keep, things that you want to hold on to, you put it to the front of your if you're using it depends on what altar you're using. If you're using your ancestor altar, for your manifestation candle, anything that you want to keep, anything that you want to hold on to, you want to be sure that you put it in the front of your ancestors. You want to make sure that next to it, you put a glass of clean water, some type of libation. Mm-hmm. You can put spirit water. Okay. Put some food. You want to make sure that it's surrounded with gratitude, surrounded with offering. Put some fruit, but you put it in front of your ancestors if it's going to be on your ancestor altar. If it's things that you want to release, things you want to let go of, you put it behind them.
Okay. Ooh, yes. Okay. Release.
Put it behind them. And then you will put offerings in front of them.
Okay. Offerings in front.
So whatever it is you want to release, you put it behind. And that's with anything, not just the candle or not just, but anything. Because the thing with releasing is, I don't want you all to feel like releasing is only something that you can do during the full moon. You can release any time that you desire. It doesn't only have to be during a full moon. It's just that with the full moon, the energy is peaked. It's the elevation of the opportunity. It's the elevation of the vibration. So during the full moon, the energy is peaked. But you can release and you can manifest at any time. Okay? So during any time you choose to do this work, just be mindful about where you place what you want to release and where you place what you want to hold on to, because that's super important. And have your offerings and your libations out on your altar during that time.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
I'd like to ask a question, if I may.
Yes, you can.
It's like that. Thank you. It's a two-part question, sis. So I was not able to get in right away. I was late, but I'm requesting that you do a recap at the end. So that's more of a request. Okay. Because I know I missed a lot. The second question is, how would you suggest I manage this, living in an apartment? I don't have a backyard and I don't see the moon at all from my window. So I don't even know what the moon is doing. So I have an app on my phone that I track the moon with. But as far as doing all of what you're talking about, I don't have a backyard. So how do I manage that?
Okay. So essentially, I live in an apartment too. You don't need a backyard to do this. And this is the thing, okay, with being spiritual whatsoever, any aspect of spirituality, you're going to look crazy sometimes, okay? You're going to look weird sometimes. You're going to have to do some things, or you will be led to do some things where people may be like, what is this girl doing? What is this guy doing? This is some witch shit. I don't know what's going on over there. I'm not going there. Sometimes you're going to have to look crazy, okay? But if you got to go outside and you need to do your burning ceremony outside and people are looking like, what is she doing? That's just what's going to have to happen. For me, spirit is more important than what other people think. You know what I'm saying? So I don't be in my backyard, okay? I live in an apartment in New York City, okay? I don't be in my backyard. I be in New York where people be looking at me like, this lady is bugged. I'm the lady walking down the street burning sage, okay, if I need to. I'm that person. And my neighbors and people in the community know that. You know, I'm the lady that comes outside sometimes dressed in all white. And they like, what is she doing? You know, that's just it's just what you got to do. But you're doing it for your ancestors and you're doing it for your spirit. You know what I'm saying? You're doing it for self. You're doing it for your wellness. So I'll look crazy for my wellness. You know what I'm saying? I'll look crazy for my ancestors. And at the end, I will do a recap of everything I can remember. Okay, and if anybody needs to jump in, please jump in. But I'll do a recap at the end because I know that some people will be late. And then don't forget that I'll be posting clips. And I didn't record the beginning, so I'll record a video of what I talked about at the beginning as far as with regards to the moon and the significance of this blue moon. I'll record that and post that, but I'll be recording clips of this Zoom and posting that as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
No problem.
I haven't done any of this work. I'm very new to it. And I'm kind of scared, but I'm going to try to see what I can do. But I've had dreams about water rising over my window. It's like it's a tsunami filling up outside my window, and it's like covering my window, and it doesn't burst the window in, but it's like the water is like, hey, I'm here. And I'm like, whoa. I mean, imagine it's so real. You're looking outside and you see water, nothing but water, an ocean of water outside your window. That's what the dream is. I've had it twice.
So that's a sign or a significance. And listen, if anyone else has questions about anything like this, this is what we're here for. You know what I'm saying? As I stated in the message in the Patreon, ask any question. This is your time, okay? Ask any question. If you've been having any weird occurrences or you got any questions about anything, please ask it during this time while we're here and we're in person, okay? And I'm on my laptop, so I ain't got to worry about my phone dying. You know how my phone be dying on YouTube. I ain't got to worry about that. So essentially, with the water filling up outside your window, what's happening is that's a sign that there's a cleansing going on in your life. You shall not be moved. You will be steady. But in your life, there is a cleansing that is occurring and that is about to occur. It's going to be a major cleansing in your life. So just beware of that. It may seem like your life is being wiped out. Like it's being wiped out. It may feel like the rug is being snatched from under you, but what's happening is a cleansing. So if it's all a sudden career shift, it may be a sudden loss of a relationship, a sudden loss of, unfortunate to say this, but a sudden loss of a person. It could be a sudden anything, but it's an extreme energy shift, an extreme cleansing that's going to occur in your life. And they're trying to prepare you for that. Ancestors is trying to warn you that this is coming, but you are well, you are steady, you are safe, but just prepare yourself for that cleansing, that major change, it's a huge cleansing. It's a huge cleansing, and just prepare yourself for that, okay? It may rock you. It may rock you, but you are steady. You are steady.
Thank you, Queen. That is so good to hear because I'm going through a lot, and I want to be okay. We all want to be okay, So thank you for that.
No problem. No problem. All love. Any other questions?
I have another one. Oh.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I just wanted to know, I live in an apartment as well, and I have a patio. So I have like jars of water outside, I can't tell if I'm getting direct sunlight or if it's sunlight, Lord,
Moonlight.
moonlight, or if it's the like the lights in the parking lot. Does that matter? Like, do I need to drive somewhere where I can get direct moonlight?
No. So moonlight, the moon energy is infinite. It's present, whether you can see it or not. It's present. And I forgot to answer that question when Lisa has stated that you don't have to see the moon in order to get the energy. The energy is here. The energy is among us. That's why we feel it. As I had spoke on when we started the Zoom, how I just feel electrified. I feel this charge, right? The energy is present. It's you know, the moon energy is here surrounding us. We the moonlight, without the moonlight, the earth would not be illuminated right now. You know what I'm saying? The moonlight is what's illuminating the earth. So we do see it. When we look outside at night, you see it. Now, you may not directly see the moon, but you see the moonlight. It's all around us. We feel it. That's what's illuminating us right now. That's what's illuminating our presence and allowing us to see at this time. And it's what's keeping us warm. And it's what's, you know, holding us down while the sun is on the other side and transitioning, you know? So with the moon energy, it's present, it's here. You don't have to directly see it in order to be affected by it. You don't have to directly see it in order for your water to be charged, okay? So sit those jars out. If you live in an apartment and you don't have a patio or a backyard, you can sit your jars of pure water in the windowsill, okay? Sit it in a windowsill and open the window if you can. Sit it in the windowsill and that'll still be charging your water with the full moon energy.
I have
Okay, go ahead,
I have
Ryan.
a question. So one, just thank you for sharing all this. It's really hitting me in a lot of ways. This week alone, it felt like a purge spiritually, just throughout the week. I wanted to know, I've seen people, they have like some herbs in their candles sometimes, and I was wondering what type of herbs is good for the cleansing and the releasing part of like that magic. Like, what are some good releasing herbs?
Basil, rosemary, lavender. And if you want to do it, so okay, y'all. Now this is a product right here. Okay, if you got a business, you got a botanica store, anything. This is a product. So I'm gonna tell y'all right now how you could infuse your candles. There's 2 ways. Now, way number 1, be mindful because this takes a lot of care when you do this. You can get a regular candle like this, right? A regular candle. What you will do is you will get a pot of steaming water. And you want to just sit the candle in the pot until the candle melts down. Once it melts down, you want to remove the wick from the candle. In the wax, while it's still in here, you can sprinkle whatever herbs that you want to sprinkle in the wax. And then what you want to do is with tongs, you'll grab the jar and you will pull it up and you will just keep twirling and twirling and twirling and twirling and twirling and twirling as it cools. Now this process is going to take some time, but you're twirling it because the herbs will be mixed around in the candle. So as it cools, now it's out of the steamy water. As it cools, you're just twirling and twirling and twirling, but it's solidified. As you start to see it thicken up, you can slow down your twirl because that means that the herbs are not going to settle as quickly. So slow down your twirl. Before it gets too thick, put the wick back in. So when it's about like pudding consistency, you will put the wick back in. Continue, you could set it down on the counter and just continue to slowly swirl until it becomes completely solidified. Now that process takes some time, but it's worth it because that's the way to infuse your candle. Now, another way you can do it is you can get a hot rag, like put some, you could boil a towel or whatever, but get a hot rag and you will wrap the candle in the hot rag. It's gonna warm it up. Once it gets warm, what's going to happen is that outer layer of wax starts to melt down. You'll be able to turn your candle over and slide it right out the jar. But the candle will still be whole. It's not going to be completely melted, but you'll be able to slide it right out the jar. Outside of the candle, it's still gonna be a little damp. It's still gonna be like it's softened because it's, you know, you had the hot towel on it. You will roll, and this is usually the ones you see. You'll roll the candle in the herbs. You can roll it in the basil, the rosemary, the lavender, whatever herbs you use. If it's a release, you want to use those herbs. If it's something you want to hold on to, calendula, rose petals, marigolds, but you will roll a candle in the herbs, and then you just let the candle solidify and you drop it back in the jar. That's the easy one. That one is super easy. But the only thing with that is the herbs are only on the outside. They're not infused in the candle, but that's also okay. It's the same effect. So that's how you can make your own little herb infused magic candles. And the good thing about when you melt it down, add essential oils too if you want to.
Okay, so that was for releasing. Thank you so much. So for releasing is lavender, rosemary, and basil.
Yeah.
And then for holding is calendula. And what were the others?
Calendula, you can do rose petals. You can do dry rose petals. You can do marigolds. You can also use lavender. I'll explain the significance of lavender too later on, but you can also use lavender. You can use blue verine, Palo Santo. You can, I should have had it with me, like close to me to be able to show y'all, but you can buy ground Palo Santo. I don't want y'all to think the whole stick, of course. You can buy ground Palo Santo. They sell it on Amazon too. And it comes like in a little bag, and it's definitely worth it. I have some in here somewhere, but you can use Palo Santo as well.
I have a question. When doing the baths, and I've never done one, so I'm looking forward to doing one, but I do have a question in regards to how to get it set up.
Okay.
So I just run the water and all the stuff that you're telling us to make certain that we put in the bath. Do we just drop it in the tub? In our bathroom?
This is what I like to do.
Okay.
And I wrote this out step by step in the very first spiritual bath, the 111 bath that I put in the Patreon. Okay. It's written out step by step. So you don't have to take notes right now. It's already noted for you. But this is what I like to do when it comes to adding everything in the bath. First off, you want to make sure that you cleanse your bathroom from corner to corner. You want to smudge your bathroom out, light your candles. Afterward, when it comes to running your bath, as your bath water is running, I like to add everything one by one by one. But when I add one thing, for example, I'm gonna say rose petals. When I add the rose petals, I sprinkle the rose petals in my hand. First off, when I pick the rose petals up, let me start from the beginning. When I pick the rose petal up, I hold the rose petal in my hand and I state my intentions for adding these rose petals. I state my intentions. These rose petals are, with these rose petals, I am. These rose petals are, with these rose petals, I am. So whatever your intentions is for adding those rose petals, you state it, and then the I am is the energy that it will bring to you. These rose petals are, I am. I sprinkle them in my bath water. Sprinkled in my bath water. Then I take my hand and I spell my name in the water at least 3 times. Spell my name in the water. And I do that with each and every ingredient. Each and every ingredient. If I'm adding an essential oil, I will pick up that oil, hold the bottle in my hand. This oil is for. This oil is, I am. Drop the oil, spell my name in the water with my hand. And I do that with each and every ingredient. So that's about taking your time. If you do that because you're taking your time and you're being super intentional about what it is that you're doing. Take your time and be super intentional about each and everything. Once again, this is your spiritual bath. You hold the power. You are the spell. So you are infusing each and every tool because these are tools. These inanimate objects are tools because they now are being used with intention, okay? And you are infusing them with that intention. So each and everything that you put in that spiritual bath or that you put in your floor wash, anything you put on your altar, one by one, infuse it with the intention. What is this for? And I am. What energy is this bringing to you? For everything.
Thank you so much.
No problem. And again, that's in the 111 Spiritual Bath. That's at the very beginning of the Patreon. At step by step by step. It's all written in that bath.
Can I ask, excuse me, for people that are like, I guess, physically impaired, how do they manage to do this? Is there another, in other words, if they can't clean their bathroom top to bottom and they're just impaired and they don't have the ability, what can they do?
They can do smudging. If they have someone who can do it for them, who can clean, of course, have someone clean it for them. But if they are not able to at all, for whatever reason, if they're not able at all to clean their home, smudge their home. That's something that you can do. The smoke will travel throughout the house. You just have to be sure to open your windows. Whenever you are smudging, be sure to open your windows, your doors, open all closets, okay? Whenever you are smudging your house. Open your windows. So that's all they would have to do, and the smoke will do the work. The smoke will travel throughout the home.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
I have a question.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I actually have two questions. One is about ancestors. Is it possible to feel ancestors' presence if you weren't very close? Meaning that, I don't mean like you have love for them and you know them because of, like, say, family reunions or holidays or whatever, but you didn't have like a sit down talk with them, like really, really know their life. Is that possible? I always wonder about that because I wasn't really close to my family because of military. So I wasn't really around them a lot. I may talk to them on the phone or something like that, but I really didn't know them like my grandmother. I know her because of stories of what people have said. I've been around her like around holidays or her birthday or something like that, but not like, when people say, oh, I was raised by my grandmother or something like that. So can my ancestors still be present around me and still give me signs and things like that, even though I didn't know them in depth like that?
Yes. So you don't have to know your ancestors to have a relationship with them or to feel their energy, to feel their presence. You don't even have to know their name. You don't even have to know their name to feel their presence. The thing with spirit is it's one. Spirit is one, right? Spirit is us. We are spirit. It's one. There's a connection. There's a divine connection that's beyond any aspect of this physical reality, including blood. There's a divine, infinite connection of all. When I told you in the group chat, when I speak about spirit, I'm speaking about the all. I'm speaking about that highest level of connection, the oneness of everything and everyone. So with that being stated, you don't have to even know their name in order to feel their presence. You don't have to know. Sometimes you won't even know which spirit or which ancestor is coming forth unless you ask them to make themselves clear or announce themselves. You may not even know where this energy is coming from or who this energy is, but it's present and it's there. So it's possible. It's definitely possible. Just the signs will make them, they'll let you know that it's them,
Thank you so much. And my second question is, the reason why I asked that is because I feel sometimes when sometimes I'm sitting in a room or laying down and I feel like someone walked past me, or I feel sometimes when I'm laying in bed, sometimes I feel like someone laid in the bed with me. I'm not afraid. I feel comfort. I feel it puts a smile on my face. And I don't know if this is a sign as well. I see a lot of repeating numbers a lot of times. And I don't know if I'm doing it right, but when I do see repeating numbers, I write down what I'm doing at that time, and then I say that it's my ancestors and spirit guides giving me a sign, and I write what I feel the sign is. I don't know if it's right. I don't know, but I'm just going with how I feel.
No, that's 100% right. And you can do that. And the thing is, you know, when it comes to like what's right and what's wrong, it's whatever you feel led to do. There is no right and no wrong if your spirit led you to do it. First off, I want to go back to, you know, the feeling that someone is walking past you, or, you know, someone comes sits or come lay on the bed. Those are the good old fashioned signs that spirit is present. You know, I like those, you know, and honestly, when you are beginning your spiritual journey, those are the signs that you'll feel, the signs that you'll see. You know, you'll sometimes see a shadow or see a silhouette walk past the door, walk past the threshold. And it's so crazy because that literally, as you were talking, you know, spirit was telling me that that's something that's been happening for somebody. Like you've been seeing a lot of shadows or silhouettes going past your doorway. And number one, what they are saying is there's something that's in your doorway that you need to move. So you need to clear out your doorway. I don't know if there's something that's hanging on your door that's blocking or preventing your door, your threshold from being able to completely close or be passed through.
Yes, I do. I do have something on my door.
You need to move it. You got to move it. So that you have to move it. They want you to move that. But definitely those are early signs that you need to, you know, pay attention to and honor and show love. You know, do not fear if you feel the bed go down a little bit, somebody sitting on the bed with you or somebody laying with you. I'm glad that you said it puts a smile on your face, because that's what ancestors need. Spirit does not desire to scare you. Spirit does not desire for you to feel fear. They will only do what they feel that you are okay with, that you are prepared for. Okay. So these early signs of, like, you know, sitting on the bed or laying in the bed with you or walking past the door. This is like the little, like, knock, knock, I'm here, you know, hey girl, you know, it's like the early things, you know, the early stuff. And in the movies, you know, people have stuff growing and stuff hitting the wall, you know, it ain't that. It ain't that. You know, good spirits, our ancestors, the spirits that have been cleansed, and the spirits that protect us and that guide us and that love on us, they come in peace and they come in wholeness and they come in gratitude for you acknowledging and honoring them. You know, they are thankful for us too, because we're keeping this realm flowing, we're keeping this realm going. So it's reciprocity in that relationship. They are too grateful for us, you know. So they come in gratitude and they come in honor and they just come to commune. And that's all it is. And they come to give you signs sometimes, to give you certain messages. And as you move through your journey, that communication will be easier. That communication will come in different forms, more comfortable forms. So as you get more comfortable with connecting with and with communing with spirit, they will communicate more comfortably with you as well. So you'll start to see other things other than, you know, the laying on the bed, the laying in the bed with you and the sitting on the bed or the walking past the door. Other than that, you will start to see other signs and feel other things. You know, other things that people may see is like the pictures falling. Sometimes a picture may fall. Sometimes certain objects or certain things may be moved or may move or may fall in the house. You know, those are not negative things. That's just sign that spirit is trying to tell you, I am here. And I am here. Now, if a picture keeps falling in your house, that's a sign, but okay.
I had something to add on to ask about that as well. When I do my meditation walks, I don't know if it's just me, but like when I see the leaves, like there's a certain leaf that just shakes like crazy. I'm like, oh, is that my ancestors saying hello to me? So then I say, hello, how are you? Like engage in a conversation. And then I start seeing a lot of animals, like this bird, American, I forgot what it's called. It's a yellow bird, American finch, a goldfinch, and it follows me all the way home. And I'm like, holy shit. I mean, excuse me, but I was like, this is crazy, you know? So I got a reading done, and they keep saying that I'm very connected with nature. I have a Mother Gaia spirit, Mother Gaia. I had a recent trauma where I was left in the park, the same park where I meditate, naked, and then now I just said, nature saved me in a sense, like nothing really bad happened to me. I'm here. So I went back there to heal, and now I feel like, okay, am I connecting with my ancestors there, or is this like all in my head?
No, it's not all in your head. So there is a mother energy at the park that's there, that does communicate through, I'm not going to say through the leaf, but through the tree as a whole. Through the tree as a whole. So that particular tree, there is a mother energy there at the park that waits for you and that communes there. You need to start putting offerings at the base of that tree. Start putting some fruit at the base of that tree, some offerings at the base of that tree. But there is a mother energy there that is present at the park with you. So just be mindful of that, and be intentional and continue to honor and continue to do what they do. She's proud of you. The mother energy, she's proud of you. She's proud that she enjoys you. She enjoys your energy. She enjoys what you are doing. She's very proud of you. But put offerings there at the base of the tree. When you go to that park, each and every time, bring something. So even if it's just some water, even if you got a water bottle that you've been drinking out of, put some water, put something at the base of that tree, and always leave an offering there at the park.
Can I leave it at
And the animals are coming as a sign of prosperity and abundance. So the animals that keep coming to the park, it's a sign of prosperity and abundance in your life. Mm-hmm. They probably will be the ones that will come and receive the offering.
Okay.
Okay,
is it okay if I leave? I meditate I found a stone. It's crazy because I was walking and I was like praying, like I wish there was a stone where I could meditate, and then boom, it appeared. So is it okay if I leave?
No, don't leave the stone at the that stone is meant for the as a means of communication. So bring the stone with you, but that's a stone that's meant for a means of communication as you travel. So as you travel, if you are feeling anxious, if you have a question, if you have something that you desire, something that you need, you hold on to that stone. That stone is your means of communication or your connection with the mother energy that is beholden at the tree.
Oh, no, like the stone is where I sit. It's like a rock. There you go, a rock. No?
No. There's another stone. So do you have a stone? Do you have a crystal?
Yeah, I walk with the crystal in my brassiere, just connected to my heart. But when I go, there's a regular, like a rock stone where you could sit, and I sit there and I meditate where I'm facing a certain direction of the sun, if that makes sense. It's like, when you go to the park, you see a nice little rock, you sit there. Is that okay if I leave an offering there?
No, you need to leave the offering at the base of the tree.
Okay.
Yeah, leave the offering at the base of the tree. Don't leave it at the stone. But there is a stone. So the stone, the crystal that you have, the crystal that you keep, that is your means of communication with that energy. So when you leave the offerings at the base of the tree, you need to be holding that crystal there. But do not lose that crystal. Hold on to that crystal and keep that crystal tight. Okay. Keep that crystal close with you.
Thank you.
No problem. That's the connection that's with the mother energy. That's the communication. She communicates through that. So you need to hold on to that at all times. And like I said, when you are leaving the offering at the base of the tree, hold that in your hand during that time.
Thank you.
No problem.
Have a question.
So beautiful. That is so beautiful. Mm-hmm.
No, thank you. Who has a question?
Brandy.
Okay, Brandy.
Being that we're on this subject, I wanted to know if you can give me some insight into a situation, some situations that I've had. When I started my journey, it was like a black cat that was hanging around the house. And it was like the cat knew us, more so my husband than me. Like it literally tried to get into my house. I have a dog. My dog didn't even, bark or anything. Usually she makes a lot of noise and tries to go after it. It was like the cat knew us. So I wanted some insight into that, if you could. And also, I don't really see spirits, but like a couple of weeks ago, I think it was, I was on my way to bed and I sleep with my door closed. Mm-hmm. And it literally sounded like it was footsteps going back and forth down my hall. And I yelled into the living room where my daughter was and asked her why she kept walking back and forth. And she was like, that's not me. But I have not like physically seen, you know what I'm saying, anything. So I was just wondering, is that me? Am I tripping or?
Okay, so the thing is, you're not tripping when it comes to the footsteps or the energy with the black cat in particular. The black cat is just simply coming to check on you.
Okay.
It's an energy.
Okay.
And it's just coming to check on you, coming to check to see what you are doing, where you are. But honestly, there is some cleansing, some internal work that you have to do. There's some internal cleansing work that you have to do that your personal veil is very thin. I don't want to say you're teetering, but you're teetering. Okay? You're teetering between you know what to do, but you ain't fully doing everything that you're supposed to be doing.
You're right. You're right.
But you know, yeah. So you gotta live a righteous life. You gotta start doing the right thing. Start doing what you know you're supposed to be doing, because the veil is thin. So it's going to be easy for you to go down a path that is not for your higher supreme energy.
Okay.
Okay. So they're watching. They're watching. Okay. So just really start focusing on doing what you're supposed to do, doing what you know you need to be doing with your spirit. Separate what your spirit knows that you need to be doing versus your mind being overactive about what you think you should be doing.
And see, that's the thing with me. Like I overthink a lot. Mm-hmm. And then not only that, it's like I try to find the time. It's like I don't have the time, or I'll say I don't have the time and I'll do something else. You know what I'm saying?
Literally, as you were talking, I could hear a clock ticking. And the thing about the thing about a time, about the time frame of the timetable, time is infinite, but your time will end soon if you do not do what you're supposed to do. Your time is infinite, but your time will end soon if you do not do what you're supposed to do. You have to do what you are supposed to do. You know what it is. Your spirit has told you again and again and again, and has given you sign after sign after sign of what it is that you are supposed to do and what you need to be doing. But you keep on ignoring it. You keep on ignoring it and brushing past it and covering it with the things that your mind is telling you should do. You have to separate your ego, separate that flesh, and do what you are supposed to do.
Okay.
Okay.
I have a question.
All right, no problem. Go ahead, sis.
Okay. So I went on a healing retreat a couple of weeks ago, and took a leave from 14-day leave from work, and just returned. And I was very clear during the retreat, that what I supposed to just leave, let go. One of my positions, just and I still have not let it go. And I'm not understanding, like, why am I still holding on to that? So that's one thing. And secondly, like, I am yearning to start this journey, but I feel like I don't know if I'm going to do it right, or I feel like I'm a learner. So I'm always like, I've been in school all my life, literally just graduated last year. And so I'm always looking for like a syllabus or next steps, or just like I need everything here so I can get started. And that's just where I feel like I'm at. I'm delaying myself because I feel like I ain't doing it right, or I want to be around the right people who teach me how to, teach me the right way, even if that's a thing.
No, that's understandable. It's understandable. You're a little bit of a control freak, a little bit. And that's okay. That's okay. The fact that you can acknowledge that is good. And that comes in handy too. To be that particular comes in handy as well. The thing is, though, you need to go to the water. You should go to the water. So I don't know if you live close to a beach or close to a river, but you should definitely take your time and go to the water. You need to dress in all white, wear some white, and go to the water with some offerings, and you'll receive your clarity at the water. The energy that you need to move on and to let go of things that you need to let go of it will be released at the water. You will get that clarity, that download that you need to do that at the water, but you need to, within time, go to the water. But you're not going to do it no time. It's going to take some time for you to get there. But to get to the water, I'm speaking of, and truly mean it. It's going to take some time for you to get there. But when you get there, you'll feel it and you'll be ready. You're okay. You're okay.
Okay.
Just
Okay,
sit in
so
this.
I've been trying to get to the water for like, because it's a bike trail right behind my apartment complex, and I go over there and it's water. And I just be walking down through the pathway. It say do not enter and all, but I go find me a rock and I see the water, and I love the water, but I have not been able to get to the water. I think so it's election coming up, but also I got this new thing happening in my life. Very, very drastic change that was not planned. I am expecting. So I don't know if I'm supposed to go to the water. I don't know if I'm supposed to be near water. Like, I'm just scared to go to the water now, but I love the water.
Okay, so first off, that also explains the water energy, because that's Yaya energy, who is the mother. So that's why I'm seeing the beach and seeing you dressed in white, and that explains a lot. Absolutely. With that being stated, if it's taking you some time to get to the water, that is okay. As I said, it's not going to happen anytime soon. I don't feel it happening like tomorrow or even the next day. It may take you some time. It's going to happen when you are ready. Once again, it's about following your spirit. So when you are fully ready, you will feel no other option, and the way will be made easy for you to get there. The path will be cleared. The road will be cleared. But in the meantime, you'll start to notice a lot of like white birds. You're going to start to see a lot of white birds that'll start to just be around you, start to pop up in your real life on the TV screen. You'll start to see a lot of white birds. And those are signs that you are being purified and being prepared to receive that energy. But before your child is born, before you bring your baby to this earth side, you'll be at the water before then.
Queen, I have a question. That specific thing that you was just telling Shantara about the water, was that specifically for her? Because I'm the same way with this whole journey thing. I feel like I need a syllabus. I too graduated last year, girl. We must be the same person in different bodies.
Are you the one that's in South Carolina?
I am.
Oh, see, Spirit, we need to connect. Like, I've been wanting somebody near and dear, and you my soror. Okay, yeah, okay, we go connect.
We're gonna connect. But yeah, I feel the same way, because I feel like I don't want to do it wrong. And I didn't realize until you said just now, I don't feel like I'm controlling in any way, shape, or form. But I guess that is what it is technically, is I want to control how it happens. But I thought it was more so I want to make sure I'm doing it right, so I can give ancestors what they need from me wholeheartedly, so that I'm not half-heartedly giving them my part of what they need from me. And then I was thinking about the water. Actually, somebody told me last week that I need to go to the water. And so that's what I'm asking. Were you saying that specifically for her, or just for anybody that feels that way?
I was saying that specifically for her, but if you feel like you need to go to the water, then you definitely go to the water as well. If that's something that you feel that you need to do with anyone, once again, this journey is about following your spirit. It's about following your spirit. If your spirit leads you, tells you, makes you feel, or pulls you in any direction, you go in that direction. So if you keep dreaming about water, you keep seeing water, you keep smelling water, you keep feeling like you're in water, then you need to go to the water. So if you feel that, if your spirit is telling you to do that, then you go and you do that. But with that being stated, I think you should do some grounding work before you go to the water. You are a person who enjoys wearing many hats, and that is okay, but you have to work on your core self. So doing some grounding work before you go to the water. Grounding work could look like going to the woods, going to the forest. So do that before you go to the water, or maybe your trail to the water may be walking through some woods. I don't know if there's woods that's by you where there's a creek or something in the woods, but if you can do that, if you could do some grounding work in the woods before you go to the water, that would be good for you. But you're very good at wearing multiple hats, and wearing many hats is excellent, but work on your core self, your core being. That's your spirit self. Work on that and you will be well. And working on your core self, and this is for anybody with this journey, right? The fear of being right or being wrong. With this journey, to avoid being wrong, embrace taking your time. To avoid being wrong, embrace taking your time. I understand, wanting to have a syllabus. I understand that feeling. I understand it. But the thing is, there is no syllabus, because everybody's journey looks different. Everybody's journey sounds different, feels different. Everybody moves in a different order. You know what I'm saying? So there is no one syllabus for everybody on this journey. Just take your time and study. You gotta fall. That's the secret. The secret to doing well on a spiritual journey is you gotta fall in love with studying. There's so much information. There's so much when it comes to understanding all aspects of the universe, understanding the stars, understanding the planets, understanding the grass and the land, understanding the water, the rivers, the lakes, the oceans, the creeks, all of that. When it comes to truly understanding every aspect of every element of this universe, understanding ourselves, who we are, that takes a lot of time. There's a lot of information, and trust me, what it really is, the only way I could describe it is, it's like a web, right? It's like a web, and you're really just connecting the dots. You're connecting the dots because as you learn, you're like, oh, okay, so this Mars does what? And that's connected to what Orisha? And that Orisha also is connected to this element, and this element is connected to Mars. And then this, so you'll start to create and understand the web and the divine connection of all things and how that manifests as us and as a part of us in the role we play. So going back to the very beginning, when Corey asked a question about the election, and I was speaking on how it's a collective consciousness. It's a collective. And as you begin to fully understand the collective, understand the universe, and gain awareness of all aspects of the universe, the more you understand your part in it, right? So there is no blueprint. There is no syllabus. It's so much. Take your time. Take your time. Don't rush into anything. That's why, my whole thing, I always tell y'all this, when it comes to being initiated into an African traditional religion, study all of them first before you become initiated into anything. Study all of them. And if you have a really good Ile, a really good God family, they will make sure that you are well versed on all African traditional religions, or at least the main ones, before they initiate you into anything. They will make you study Santeria. They're going to make you study Voodoo. And they're going to make you study. They should make you study so that you are aware of and make sure that you are choosing the right one, choosing what's right for you and going according to spirit. Okay, so just take your time. Don't feel rushed. Don't feel pressured, and do not do anything that your spirit does not lead you to do. Even the stuff I'm talking about right now. If you don't feel comfortable doing candle work or anything like that, don't do it. Don't do it. That's not a requirement. Okay, none of this is requirement. The only thing that is required is that your intentions are pure. That is the only thing that is required. But the practices, the rituals, it's not requirement. If your spirit does not lead you to do it, if you don't feel like you are ready, don't do it. Okay, don't do it. But make sure, once again, make sure it's your spirit and not your mind. Make sure it's your spirit and not your mind. No problem.
I'm glad you said that, because I've been actually led more towards the woods or trees and things like that as opposed to water. So that's why I was asking you, was I saying something wrong as opposed to what you were stating just now? Because again, it's new. It's all new to me and my family. So I'm gonna just try to get that whole there's a blueprint syllabus thing out of my mind and take my time and study.
And you know what? Honestly, sis, It's not about getting it out of your mind. Keep it in your mind, but see yourself creating your own for you. You are creating your own syllabus. You are creating your own blueprint. See, that's where, we have to, trick ourselves out of anxiety and trick ourselves out of overthinking. If we tell ourselves, I got to get this out of my head, I got to get this out of my head. No, it's in your head for a reason. It's there for a reason. The question is, what are we going to do with it? We have to transmute that energy. So you don't force yourself to push it out of your head. It's a part of you. It's a part of your thoughts, and it's there for a reason. You are creating a syllabus for you. And you never know. That syllabus that you are creating for yourself may be passed down to your children. It may be passed down to family members, to friends, because you may be the first. You may be the first in your circle to start this journey. And you have now created the syllabus for you and for your personal tribe. So your syllabus will be the blueprint. It will be what the others will follow. You are the syllabus, you're creating it. So keep it in your head, don't beat yourself up, but just transmute that energy into you are creating the syllabus. Instead of looking for the syllabus, I am the syllabus. I am the blueprint. I am the beginning. I am the start. I am the curse breaker. Okay? I am the new beginning. And that's what you are doing for your family, for your children, for your siblings. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
No
I
problem.
love that. I love
Yeah.
that. I wanted to ask about when you were talking about the ancestors come. I got more questions, but one thing that, okay, can you hear me better?
We
Can
can
you
hear
hear
you
me?
now. Mhm.
Okay. When you were talking about the ancestors coming to visit us, my mom had asked a question about, okay, how do you know if there are evil ones coming to us, or, because some of our ancestors, they were pretty rotten, so there's that. And the second part is I'm married, legally married, but I've been separated from my husband, or I say ex. It's been 10 years, 10 whole years. And I'm trying to get this divorce, but he is so unstable. I'm afraid it's going to, he's so unstable mentally. And he has a lot of, in his family, there's a lot of dementia and mental illness. Tip him over the edge. And so it keeps me stuck. I can't seem to move forward in my life and with career paths that I'm reaching for, but they seem to elude me, and I can't. I'm just stuck.
Okay, so the first thing is, as far as I want to address the first part of your question, with like, is it evil spirits? Are they good spirits or anything? If you are doing your work and you are doing what you're supposed to do, and you have created that cloak of protection around you, no evil spirit can get to you. Okay, no evil spirit can get to you. Now, this is the thing though, when dealing with ancestors, I put it in the Patreon. We also talk a lot about it in the group chat when it comes to making sure that you cleanse your ancestors before you put them on the altar. If you had an ancestor who lived a tumultuous life, who was wild, who was crazy, or, just did some things that you don't desire amongst your energy, you have the power to cleanse them. So that's when you use your spirit water, and you can cleanse them before you add them to your altar, just so you can make sure that their energy is pure when you are giving offering and you're bringing them to your altar. So that's number one.
Yes, thank you. Mm-hmm.
With that. And then for the other aspect of it, like when it comes to your husband and like things that's happening in your life, I feel like you need to mind your mouth. You need to mind your mouth. You need to mind the things that you speak of and how you speak, especially about to and on other people. You have to mind your mouth. You have a powerful, powerful mouth, and it's used as a weapon a lot. I feel like you you crazy with your mouth. I can feel it.
Wow.
And I think you need
Wow.
to mind your mouth, mind how you speak about people and how you speak on people. And energy that you no longer want in your life, stop speaking about it. You have a very, very, very powerful tongue. Stop speaking about things that you do not desire. People that you do not desire. Don't even speak their name out of your mouth. Don't even speak it. Even when you catch yourself, you have to hold your tongue. When you catch yourself about to say their name, you got to hold your tongue, mind your mouth, and then also mind how, once again, mind how you're speaking about people. Mind how don't gossip. Don't gossip. Don't talk about people who are not present around you, who are not able to defend themselves, especially people who have passed away. Especially people who have passed away. Do mind your mouth and mind how you speak about people. And that's going to take you a long, long way. You'll see a major transition in your life when you really start minding who you allow to cross your tongue and what you allow to cross your tongue. Mind your mouth. You should do a sea salt wash. Do a sea salt wash. So you do a sea salt rinse, and do that every day for 3 days. Do a sea salt rinse for the next 3 days with this full moon energy. Do a sea salt rinse with your mouth and use it as a mouthwash, morning and night.
Wow. I had no idea. I mean, because I hate gossip. I hate gossip. So is it something else I'm doing? I tend to go around in circles, and I tend to talk to myself about people that have traumatized me. Is that maybe what it is?
That's probably what it is. That's probably what it is. Speaking about things that people have done to you or have done wrong to you. Once again, when it comes to any of that, we have to remember that that's our perception. And not to say that it's false, but it's your perception and it's your side of the story. Be mindful about speaking about what people have done to you. If you feel that they did something wrong to you, or you feel like they did something wrong or whatever, be mindful about what you're speaking about. All of that is considered gossip too. That's considered gossip. Speaking about, gossip is not just telling somebody's business. Gossip is speaking about things where the person is not allowed to share their perception, is not allowed to tell their side of the story. That's also gossip. So anytime you're speaking about someone and you're giving your side and they don't have the ability to share their perspective or their perception, all of that is considered gossip.
I see. Okay. And you said something about talking about dead people.
Yes. So be mindful where people have transitioned, be mindful about how you speak about them and what they did to you, if they did something to you, or just the life that they lived. Be mindful about the narratives that you give. Always extract the lessons. Always extract the lessons. If you want to speak about something, you want to speak about someone who passed away, if you want to speak about a decision, extract the lessons. I learned this, or this taught me that. Don't just speak about the trauma, speak about the lessons.
Okay. Okay, that's easy. I do like to talk about the lessons. I do. So I'll be more mindful of that. But my husband, are you getting that I talk about, which I do.
I know. And you just got to stop speaking his name. He does not exist. You keep him alive. You keep him present. You keep him alive. You're keeping him present. You're calling his energy to you. Every time you speak his name, you're calling his energy to you. Don't even speak his name.
And so that will help to remove him from me.
That will help to remove his energy, his presence in your life. Stop speaking his name. Stop calling his energy to you.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
I have a question just to expand on that, actually. So when you had mentioned, as far as like not to really dwell on like the trauma when speaking on someone and things of that nature. So I'm going through, like, I haven't quite started like practicing yet. I'm still trying to go through the whole knowledge of self kind of thing and addressing everything that I've suppressed since I was a baby, basically. And a big part of my trauma was my mom, who passed away a couple of years ago. And I still haven't dealt with that. So it's hard for me to extract the lesson from it when speaking about her or addressing things that I'm writing down or speaking out loud. So is that like bad too, since I'm not quite like, I haven't quite dealt with that situation to where, you know, I can't extract that lesson, or should I just like,
No, that's not bad at all. That's not bad. You're writing it down. You're meditating on it. You're doing the work to heal yourself. That's different than speaking and telling people that this person did this and this person did that. That's different. That's different. So you're writing it out and you're doing the work for self. That's good. You should do vaginal steams. So I did a video about vaginal steaming, and with the vaginal steaming, that's also good. Vaginal steaming, anal steaming, all, you know, it's all the same. So you do the vaginal steaming, the anal steaming, and that clears out the root in the sacral chakra. So doing that will really, really help. And then it'll also clear away any infertility issues. Any infertility issues or any issues conceiving, the vaginal steaming will help with that as well. And it also helps with relationships with the maternal energy. So with your mother, it'll help clear out blockages, clear out any negative roadblocks with that relationship, and with breaking down the layers of that relationship. Which will also help with infertility. I don't know if you're trying to have a baby or somebody around you is trying to have a baby, or once you're like, no. But
I'm actually abstinent.
Okay. But infertility like keeps coming up. Infertility keeps coming up. So if anybody is struggling like with infertility or trying to conceive, you want to conceive, you need to do the vaginal steaming. But there's you don't have to say yes or say no here. But if there's an abortion or the loss of a child, of a young child, they're being held onto on the other side. They're being held onto in the other realm. So just be mindful of that. But there's there's a blockage. If there's somebody who's trying to have a baby, somebody who's trying to conceive, and there is your eggs, your children are being held onto on the other side. So you need to do the vaginal steaming, and you need to work on that. So that your children can transition and pass on. And that could be somebody who had a miscarriage, an abortion, and your child needs to transition into the spirit realm, or somebody who's trying to conceive and you want your child to cross over into the physical realm. You need to be mindful of that. But I feel like it's conception. Somebody is trying to conceive, or they want to conceive, they're thinking about having a baby, and you need your child to cross over to the physical realm. You need to do the vaginal steaming, because there is a mother energy who is holding on to your eggs, your womb, who's holding on to you. So do the vaginal steaming, and that'll clear out that sacral chakra.
Thank you.
No problem. Anyone else?
I had a question.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. My question kind of goes back with the other conversation, but mine is more about like advice on what to do when you're feeling disconnected from like your spiritual practice. Like I've been practicing for a while, and I've practiced different, I've studied different things. Like I've studied Buddhism in the past, and I also did witchcraft for a while before I've actually came over here to studying African tradition. But in all of these different studies, I'll get really into it, but then I'll find myself feeling disconnected along the way, and I just kind of drift off from doing it. Do you have an advice on combating that, I guess?
Why do you feel like you need to combat it?
I don't know, because I don't know. Like, because it's something I want to do, but then I don't know.
Okay, so there's two things. So number one, it could be a desire to be committed, a desire to be committed to one thing, which you don't, when it comes to spirituality, you don't need. With spirituality, it's good. And as you see, I advise that people study multiple things. Study as much as you can. That's why I heavily advise that. So it's nothing wrong with studying. It's just that you have a desire to be committed to one thing. And I do understand why you may, feel a little apprehensive with the fact that you're not committed to one thing, but it's okay. It's okay. You just keep floating. You know what I'm saying? Keep floating. It's all right. Don't beat yourself up or feel bad or feel guilty because you fall out of love with, what you were once passionate about. Whatever it was meant to bring you in that moment is what it was meant to bring you. And then when it's time to move on, your spirit may lead you to move on. And that's okay. And then when you find your home, when you find the place that your spirit decides, I want to rest here, you won't feel that urge to move on. You won't feel it. Just keep on,
I
just
guess
keep
that's
studying.
I feel like that's what I've been searching for. And I know I'm young, so that could be way down the line when I figure that out. But I don't know. I guess I was just wondering how
Yeah,
to
no, it's nothing wrong with that. And you should study shamanism. Have you looked into shamanism?
I have in the past, but then it feels kind of like it's closed off to me. Like I would need to find someone to study under to understand it.
Oh,
So
because it's very, very sacred. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but if you can, you could attract that energy. You could attract your energy as you go. For the right person will come to you, but you should definitely look into shaman life.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll do shamanism too. Sounds cool.
You study shamanism?
No, I said I would. That was an option for me. I mean, hell yeah.
Yeah,
It sounds great.
Yeah, shamans are it's a very unique, beautiful way of life. Very unique, very beautiful way of life. So if anyone has an opportunity to study the shamans or study under a shaman, please do.
So for me, being a Christian, for such a long time and being gay, I didn't have any power. I felt like I didn't have any power. And I didn't want to claim any power because I didn't feel like I had any right to. So now I am claiming my power, so I don't want to let go. And I feel comfortable and I have so much respect for God in so many different forms, that, I feel like it's just a natural, pathway, a natural step of progression.
Okay, so when you say claim your power, so first off, I want to just go ahead and say from the very beginning, being gay, being bisexual, any of that, that does not determine or dictate your spirit. You know what I'm saying? That has nothing to do with your spirituality. It's a part of who you are. It has nothing to do with your spirituality. So do not ever let anyone convince you that your ashe, your power, that who you are is affected by you being gay. Okay, as you are initiated, you will hear lots and lots of stories from different elders. I got a god brother who will come in here and tell you a few stories about Shango. Okay, that you may be like, what? There's some stories out there. Okay, if anyone is initiated, anyone is Yoruba, you know some things. Okay, also voodoo, you know some things. So that has nothing to do with your power, your ashe, your energy, or who you are. It has nothing to do with that. So those are two separate things. Now, when you speak about your power, what are you speaking about specifically? Like your ability to manifest, your ability to transmute?
So I felt my whole life, not my whole life, but in my spiritual journey, in the beginning, it was kind of thrust upon me, nothing that has happened spiritually or in my personal life, me being myself, has been by choice or design. Being gay wasn't by choice, being black wasn't by choice, being a Christian wasn't by choice. I was raised here, and being gay wasn't by choice. And I had this relationship with God, you know? And it was something that we always struggled with. So like when I say feel like empowered, I feel like I'm finally in control of my life, to where I've in the past felt like I haven't been in control of anything. I've always been I've always been substituted or subjugated to another power. Like even the good things that I've done, like the in my spiritual journey, like I couldn't even claim the rewards for that, or the acclamation for that, because it belonged to a higher power. It wasn't just from me; it was from someone else. Now I know that that's not that, like that's just an aspect that's just not real. It's just a thought. It's not real. It's just in my head. Like the Bible says, the body is of flesh, and for me, like being gay has kind of helped me highlight that or see that more, because I always call it my third eye as well, but being gay as well is it kind of like in the Bible you don't really see anything about certain sins in this world that we get to see being a part of it. You know, like there's so many things that, you know, like pedophilia for one thing isn't in the Bible, but like being gay was in the Bible, and I feel like it kind of pointed me out so I kind of associated with a lot of demonic bad things in the Bible, like the devil, like the whore of Babylon and stuff. So I kind of have this duality with power when it comes to Christianity, and like between good and evil. I know I'm railing a little bit. I'm driving, I'm talking really quick, but like
no, I definitely
being a shaman, being in control and being able to govern, it sounds right, because Christianity it's not a perfect religion. It's a very flawed religion, and being, you know, and it's not something that, like, I am a Christian, like I got my power from him, I can't deny that, but you know, like there's something more, and I'm not gonna be blind and not see it, you know, like I don't want to ever see God like and say, oh, I don't know you, because didn't he say not to do that? So
okay, so I definitely get where you're coming from, and it seems to me like when you're speaking about power, initially you're speaking on the power of choice, the power to choose what it is that, you know, how you will live your life, and, you know, choose what you will manifest. The thing about power, right, in our power of choice, is that is a part of your ashe, that's a part of, you know, who you are and what you can do, but that is also fleshly. That is also fleshly. Your power to choose what you invest and choose what you bring to you, your flesh is also a part of that. So I feel like when we speak about the flesh, oftentimes we speak about it in a negative way, and the flesh is not what is negative. What is negative is our attachment that we often have to the flesh. What is negative is the fact that we often have a heightened attachment to our flesh, and we have a decreased attachment to our spirit. What we desire to do is to become attached to both and align all. You want to align your flesh with your spirit. And during this time, during this full moon, this blue moon, this full moon in Taurus, during this time, this is when we need, because once again, that veil is thin. The veil between spirit realm and physical realm is thin. This is when we need to focus on aligning our spirit and our flesh. Focus on aligning the two. So embrace the flesh, honor the flesh, but also honor the spirit and embrace the spirit and allow the two to become one, because that is where true alignment occurs. When your spirit and your flesh, which the mind is a part of the flesh, when your spirit and your flesh become one, that is when you reach your true highest supreme energy in this realm as you are.
Okay,
one more. I'm sorry. One more thing. Because he brought up Christianity, I wanted to speak on Christianity. And the thing, y'all know, if you watch my YouTube, you know how I feel about Christianity. I have, although Christianity is a very flawed religion, it's a very beautiful religion as well. Although Islam is a very flawed religion, it's a beautiful religion as well. Guess what? Yoruba has some flaws. Voodoo also has some flaws. Santeria also has some flaws. So as you start to study African traditional religion, you will start to notice flaws amongst those as well. I don't want anyone to just feel like, you know, Christianity or Islam. I feel like those are the mainstream religions. So those are the ones that we talk about the most. But focus on the beauty. Focus on the lessons that come from the stories. You know what I'm saying? Focus on all of that from every religion, because every religion also has some flaws, including African traditional religions. That's why I speak a lot about spirituality. I speak a lot about the relationship when it comes to religion. And once, you know, people begin to get initiated and you begin to practice, if you want to talk about that, we can talk about that, about some of the things you start to notice. But even if you're not initiated, I'm sure some of y'all already experienced some of the babalawos who try to be in your DMs scamming, you know. Sometimes people who will, you know, honestly, y'all, and I'm just being real, this is the wellness community. I know sisters who have been sexually assaulted by babalawos. You know, people who have, I'm one of my close sisters right now, she had to leave her Elay. She had to leave her guard family because they were scamming her out of money. The same stuff that you will see happen in the church, you gonna see in African traditional religions as well. You know what I'm saying? It's people.
I'm so glad you said that, sis. I'm so glad you said that, because that's where I am. That's where I am on my journey at this point. I mean, I was considered myself at the time one of the most devout Christians, you know, in the Pentecostal church. And then years ago, when I decided that, you know, that wasn't the tool for me, and started down the path of metaphysics and just, well, first and foremost, I became atheist. That was my first step, because I had to purge everything that, you know, that I was taught, that I believed to be true, and just tear down my foundation and start from scratch. And then once I, you know, opened up that space to accept other belief systems, you know, other religions, you know, other philosophies, like you said, I started to see the flaws in those as well. You know, the mistake that, you know, at least I made on my journey is thinking that, okay, so if I leave Christianity and move to an African traditional or a Buddhist or this, that, and the other, that somehow it was going to be different. And it was to a certain extent, but there, like you said, there's always those things that, you know, are not necessarily concrete. When you look at the thread that connects all of them, there's always that room for things to occur, like you said. So once I discovered that, you know, the choice for me was, okay, since there is no purpose for me to go from, you know, one religion to another thinking that it was going to be better, you know, for me, it's just a matter of, just like you said, finding the beauty in all of them. And, you know, the word that you used earlier was, you know, a floater of such, you know what I'm saying? Not really committing to one in particular, but learning about all of them and finding the beauty in all of them, but not necessarily feeling a need to lock myself into any of them. Because, you know, for me, there's just no system is perfect. No system is perfect. And that is the mistake that I made with Christianity, thinking that was a perfect system, and then moving to the next one thinking it was perfect. So I'm so glad that you spoke on this, because, you know, you hit the nail right on the head. They all have issues, you know, and it's just, you know, it's about what you're willing to, you know, what's right for the individual or whatever, but none of them are going to be perfect. And none of them are going to make your spiritual journey any more or less perfect either.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for that, Orange Moon. That's so true. You know, none of them are perfect. But what's beautiful is the divine connection between all of them. The divine connection between all of them. In the group chat earlier, someone had made a reference to, I think it may have been yesterday, earlier yesterday, somebody had made the reference to not being able to do altar work if you are on your period, if you have your menstrual. And that's also connected to Judaism. That's also, which, you know, of course, is also connected to the Black Israelites. It's also that rule is utilized for certain works, certain practices, and certain aspects of Islam. So as you study, you'll be like, that sounds familiar. I've heard this story before. You know, I know this. I've heard this thing, and it may be different names used. It may be different practices used, but it'll all feel familiar. And that's what's beautiful. You know, the feeling of familiarity, the feeling of, you know, I know this, I get this. And that's when you're able to extract the lesson. But what are they trying to say? What are they trying to teach me? What's the ultimate lesson? What are they trying to tell me? And you really just got to study. Even with Christianity, you know, studying the Bible and really studying scriptures in context. You know, going to the church when I was younger, I noticed that the pastor will, you know, of course, you know, turn to your Bible, the scripture, and they'll tell you the scripture. And the sermon, it could be a beautiful sermon and a beautiful lesson. But if you don't read it in context, then it sounds good in that moment. But when you read it in context, you like, wait a minute, I didn't know that's what this meant. I didn't know that's what this was. You know, I didn't know that's where they were coming from. If you read things in context, and that's with any religion, you'll really, really get an in-depth understanding. So everything needs to be studied in context. When it comes to rules that people give you, you know, people tell you, if you honoring Oshun, then you can't do this, or you shouldn't do that. If you feel like you are Omo Batala, then you can't wear this and you can't wear that. There's a close sister friend of mine who she's Omo Batala. So Omo means child of. So she's initiated. She's Omo Batala, and she wanted to do some work. So she went to the water and she was wearing white, and she was at the water and she's giving offerings to Oshun. She was doing some love magic. So she's giving offering to Oshun, and someone tried to she posted a video of it, which she shouldn't have done, but she posted a video of it, and someone was in the comment to the video telling her that her offerings are null and void because Obatala and Oshun don't work together and all kind of stuff. And she was really like, called me, taking it to heart. And I'm like, sis, this is something that somebody is telling you that somebody told them, that you don't know who told them that told them. You know what I'm saying? Just like the church, just like anything. So you'll see that common thread. That's why it's important just to stay on your individual journey and do what your spirit leads you to do. If your spirit leads you to do something that ain't in the book, you do it. If your spirit leads you to do something that ain't nobody told you, including myself, then you do it. Okay, you do what your spirit leads you to do, or don't do. You know, if your spirit tells you it ain't time for you to do this, or it's not time for you to do that work, don't touch that candle. You know, it's not time for you to start your altar or build your altar. If your spirit tells you it's not time, stay away from it. When your spirit says go, go. When it says run, run. Okay, stop. You listen to your spirit before you listen to anything or anyone else. And what is meant for you to know will drop right into your lap. It'll pop up on your news feed. It'll come up in the recommendation. It'll keep coming up in conversation. And even when you try to avoid it, spirit gonna keep bringing it back. That's how you'll really know it's for you. Okay, spirit is going to keep bringing it back. The thought is going to keep crossing your mind. You're going to start seeing it in your dreams. It's going to pop up as advertisements on your phone. You know what I'm saying? It's all, you're going to start noticing it in the streets. Start noticing it when you're out and about. Start noticing it in shows and movies and stuff that you're watching. You'll start to notice it. And that's how you know spirit is saying, you need to go ahead and pursue this. So you need to go ahead and do that.
Wow. That was what I had felt for a while. I'm very enchanted with Sage Sadhguru, and and the beauty that he brings and the work that he does, and in being a Hindu. And I felt like, you know, I started to study to see, okay, a lot of the religions, or I think all of the religions in the earth came out of Africa. So I'm saying that's my understanding, and I'm saying I need to go back to the original. And I was doing the Nam Myoho Renge Kyo chanting, and I was doing all these different things. And I said, well, all of this is coming out of African spirituality. So not religions, but African spirituality, which is that there's a distinction there. And I said, I need to go back home. I need to go back to the original, not getting a copy or a copy of a copy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And honestly, when it comes back to like African spirituality and studying African spirituality alone is really studying all spirituality. You know, when you're studying African spirituality, you're really studying all spirituality. You're studying the roots of everything. The root of all. And the thing that we have to be mindful of. This is what I was telling her. Okay. I can hear somebody's, I don't know, somebody is off mute. I can hear somebody like in somebody's background. Okay, I got it. Boom. So the thing with African spirituality is you're really studying the foundation of everything. So as you study African spirituality, you're studying the foundation of all religions. All religions. And that's why I did the video, Can You Be Christian and Practice African Spirituality? Because with that video, you can take out said religion and insert any religion you desire. You can, I always tell people we could play this game. Bring up a religion, I could tell you how it traces back to African spirituality. That is how it is. From when it comes to Hinduism, Buddhism, anything. I know Buddhism doesn't consider themselves a religion, but you know, it is what it is. But you can trace it all back to African spirituality. That really is the root of it all. And as it should be, right? Africa is the foundation. Africa is the root. It's the start. It's the beginning. So everything spawned from there. And people just took it and they just created what they needed to thrive where they were. Where they needed to prosper where they were. And a lot of religions were created with the intentions of the creator. And if that creator wanted to prosper and they thought that their only way to prosper would be to oppress, then that's what they did within the religion. And that's what they taught people with the means for them to prosper. So that's why you really, really have to study everything. And when you study African spirituality, you're studying the foundation, you're studying the roots. And then as you begin to study religions, you'll be able to connect the dots, not just of the religion and African spirituality, but the dots between all of the religions and African spirituality, because now you know the foundation, you know where it comes from. So you'll be able to see how this spawned out. An example I'll give is like with possessions, you know, it came up in the group chat earlier, so I'll just speak on it a little bit. With possessions, you hear about that in multiple facets of the church. You know, you hear about that. They had the exorcism, right? They had the exorcism in the Catholic Church, right? You hear about the Holy Ghost and people being filled with the Holy Ghost, and in the Kojics and in the full Gospels, the full God, you know, the regular Baptist church ain't gonna do that. The full Gospel will catch the Holy Ghost stuff. But you know, you do all the Holy Ghost and everything like that, and then you have voodoo, you have hoodoo, and you have Santeria, where you can be possessed, you can be filled with the spirit, and the spirit will take you over. It's all the same thing. It's all the same thing. So when you study the roots and you hear about, now that you know what possessions are, and you simply know that it's the spirit entering a physical body, the spirit entering a physical body, whether it's good or bad. There can be good, positive possessions. And if y'all watch Roots to Heaven, I know a lot of people did in the group chat, we were talking about it. If you watched it, you saw the part where they were doing the ceremony, and the Baba was possessed by the spirit of the ancestors. You know, so he was dancing and he was, you know, drinking the blood and all that stuff. And that's for them, that's positive. But then you can also have negative possessions. And that's where you saw like the exorcism in the Catholic Church, right? where people will be possessed by evil spirits, which is possible, you know. So it's all, once you know the root, you know the foundation of where it comes from, you're able to gain a better understanding of how it has split and spawned within different religions.
You know, the beauty that I found recently with African spirituality and the traditions is like the concept of hell is like not a, like hell doesn't exist or the devil is not real. Because I feel like going based off of what Corey said, being gay spiritually and then also from the church, it's like you're told that you're going to hell, you're doing all, like you're just bad, all these things. And so finding out about that one little aspect for me was like very it was like very comforting, because something that has been projected on you, you know, by like a major religion, and then going into something and then realizing like, you know, there's no sense of like, there's not like good or bad. It's just like, it just is, like everything is just, it just is. I found the beauty with that. I'm trying to, I feel like I'm still in that process of rejecting, I don't want to say rejecting, but more just like trying to heal the traumas from Christianity for me, and trying to find the beauty with African spirituality. But I know everything, like I'm glad that y'all talked about how, you know, everything isn't all good. And like even with your post about SARS and everything, and how you were talking about going to Africa and trying to find that safe haven, it was trying to find, and even with that, it was like, you know, so like the harsh realities that come up, and then you have to realize like, you know, everything is not going to be 100% good, but you have to find the beauty and stuff. So I just, it's really interesting. But overall, I find it a lot, at where I am right now, I find a lot more comfort with separating myself from Christianity just right now, and finding out like there's no sense of hell or anything. That kind of had like a level of comfort that I couldn't get from like books or anything, but just like, you know, understanding that connection and that conception in the religion and the whole Africa as a whole, it was just like very soothing for me. So.
And the thing is, like, you know, when it's time for you to return to Christianity, it'll happen naturally. You know, you'll crave the feeling, you'll crave the experience. Acknowledging that trauma and having to heal from that trauma is a very real thing. You know, it's a very real thing. So I don't want you, don't ever rush yourself through that process. If you need to take a break and step away for you to be able to process everything that happened and the feelings and the trauma, do that. You know, do that. Take a second, step away. It's okay. It's not you rejecting, it's you loving from a distance. You know, appreciating from a distance. It's okay to do that. So take a step back away from the church, away from, you know, a religion if you need to, people, a person if you need to. It's all right to do that and love it from a distance while processing the impact that it has had on you. And when it's time for you to return, you'll just get the feeling. You'll get the feeling that you'll, you know, I want to wake up a Sunday. I feel like I want to go to church today, you know, or wanting to play a gospel song. You know, speaking of much love and honor to Bishop Rance Allen, who transitioned during this blue moon. But yeah, you know, you'll crave a gospel song. You may, you know, feel a little hum in your spirit. You know, you may decide to feel a little hum just slip up out you and you don't know what happened. You know, that's, you know, you'll be called back when you need to. And you do both at the same time. You do both at the same time. One of my brothers, African spirituality, when he's with us, one of my god brothers, he's leader of the drum circle. He's a go-go, so he's the leader of the drum circle, and then he plays the drums in church too. You know, because once again, African spirituality is the foundation of the church. So you can do both. And I want to speak on that concept of there is no heaven or hell. There is no, I mean, not heaven or hell, but there is no hell. There's no evil. You know, that is not a such thing as, you know, the devil. The way I like to describe that to people is everything is a glass of water. Everything is a glass of water. You give a glass of water to someone who's thirsty and it's a blessing. You throw a glass of water on a drowning man and it's hell. You know what I'm saying? Everything is a glass of water. Everything has the power to be evil. Everything has the power to be good. It's about the intention behind it. The intention is what determines what is good or what is evil. You want to make sure your intentions are well. Okay? Now, when it comes to the concept of the devil, like this being who's controlling evil and controlling the dark side, the intentions will take over and will possess people. That negative energy, that negative spirit, for example, the energy of competition can be good, it can be bad. The energy of change or transition can be good, it can be bad. The energy of staying, of balance, can be good, it can be bad. Feeling balance can be a good thing, but feeling balance can also lead to complacency and for you not moving and you rejecting positive change that needs to occur in your life. And those energies can possess someone and be evil, be negative. Okay, they can manifest themselves in a negative way. So that's what you want to be mindful of. Nothing is completely good. Nothing is completely bad, including ourselves. Including ourselves. None of us are 100% righteous. We all fall short. We all have done, do, and will do wrong. But the intention is to consciously always do right. Sometimes you may do wrong and not be aware that you are doing wrong. But when you know better, you do better. So our intention is to always live a righteous life and always do the right thing. And once again, we're just releasing it to the universe and hoping that we're doing right and that the energy will be returned unto us.
Can I ask? I'm going to try to make this my last question. I don't want to hog everything.
Okay.
I'm going to try, really. There's so much. So I thank you for taking the time with us.
No problem.
So deep. I mean, I've had all my life, I've had just pain in my body in one way or another, even if there's not an injury, I'll just have pain stored. And now, older, I'm in my mid-50s now, and I just keep getting injuries, and then it becomes chronic. Both my shoulders, I've got this pain, deep aching in my pelvic region, and then my right knee. It's just everything just hurt, and I'm menopausal, so come on. So everything, I'm like, I hurt all the time. I hurt, and I don't know how to. My lifestyle, I exercise, I eat well, I eat clean, drink lots of water, take herbs, and I try, and I do, and it's just like I can't shake this pain in my body.
Pain usually is a sign of retention. It's holding on to something. It's a sign of trauma retention. So you're holding on to trauma. You have not healed from trauma yet. And I don't know if that's attached to, what you spoke on earlier or some things that you haven't even spoken on, but you're holding on, hoarding a lot of trauma, and you hold it in your body. You hold it in your body. So you want to, as you do your healing work and as you begin to release the trauma, your body will feel renewed and feel refreshed. And that's for anyone. If you have an unexplained pain and unexplained tension in your body, that's a sign that you are holding on. It's like emotional traps. You are trapping trauma in your body, and it's manifesting itself as physical pain. Okay, our body, our flesh is a reflection of what we're holding on to in the spirit. Okay, so you want to cleanse your own spirit the same way we cleanse our ancestors. You want to cleanse your own spirit through doing healing work. Do your healing work. Cleanse yourself so that way you can begin to release some of this trauma. You can begin to release some of this negative energy that you're holding on to.
Okay. I received that, and I will start my saltwater rinses with my mouth. I know I need to do it, but I got something I need you to do.
Mm-hmm.
You need to come back to Atlanta.
Come back to Atlanta?
Yes, ma'am.
You know, the interesting thing is I'm actually in the process of going down south. So I have my sister Queen. I can't tell y'all. Hold on one second. I can't tell y'all. But one of my sister Queens is transitioned. She's transitioned to Miami. She started in Atlanta. She's transitioned to Miami. So I'll be coming down south. I'll be coming to Atlanta and Miami very, very soon. We'll be making trips back and forth between the two, doing some work there. So when I'm in Atlanta, I'll let y'all know. And first of all, as I travel, I'll let y'all know, and we could do like a meetup and have lunch or something.
Yes.
And we'll be able to like connect in person.
I would love that so much. And I thought you were in South Africa.
No, I'm not in South Africa. Oh, sis, you ain't watched a YouTube video in a long time. I'm not in South Africa anymore. I was in South Africa, what was that, 2019. I came back to America in 2019. I left South Africa. So it's so funny because I was just speaking to a Sangoma sister from South Africa yesterday and today. We were speaking this morning too. And she telling me too, like, you need to come back to South Africa, come back. So I'm, once COVID clear up a little bit, I'll be back traveling. I just need a little bit more clarity in the COVID before I hop back on somebody's plane.
Yes, I hear that.
Okay, I don't play about this. I ain't gonna say I'll be masked up all the time, but I do my best. The Lord is working on me.
Hey, Queen, speaking of Miami, so I just have a question. If you could give a little bit more detail. Earlier when you were talking about somebody wanting to conceive or trying to conceive, so that would be me. I don't know if it's anybody else. And so when you brought up the vaginal steaming thing, that's been like popping up on my timeline on Instagram and Facebook, and I would look at it and be like, okay, what is this like useless stuff where people just trying to get people to buy stuff and do like unnecessary things, even though I know that there's like a history behind vaginal steaming. Growing up in Miami, most of my friends are Haitian, and so I know that like whenever they have given birth, that's something that like their mom or aunts or older sisters would like boil these herbs and have them sit over it, and they will wrap them in this blanket, and my one friend said it feels like you're getting beat with these big leaves and all this stuff. So it's not that I'm not familiar with it. I've never done it, but I'm just wondering about this. You said something about a mother or mothering spirit or something holding on to eggs. Because it's just really interesting. I've got both me and my husband have been checked out, and the doctor is just like, everything is fine, and your fallopian tubes are wide open, and your uterus is great, your husband's sperm count is great, and we're just like, so it's just not happening.
So it's happening. It's gonna happen, but it's a spiritual thing. So first of all, let me tell y'all, as a reader, okay, anybody in here who has a spiritual gift or anything, you can attest. As a reader, you will get, you will get messages, you will get things, and it's for somebody. It is.
I was just like, thank you.
It is. So thank you for confirming that. Thank you. But the thing is, so what's happening is what I was seeing clearly. I'll describe it. There was a mother energy hovering over water. She's dressed in white and she's literally holding eggs. And that's why I said it's conception, because if it was an abortion or a miscarriage, normally what I'll see is a baby, and I'll be able to describe the baby and see the full baby. So if it was like a miscarriage or an abortion, I'll be able to see the baby who is trying to cross over. But I'm seeing literally eggs, 4 eggs 4 eggs. So she's just holding, like cradling the eggs. And when you are ready, she will give them. Why is that crazy? What's the significance of the 4 eggs?
Just because we already have 4 names picked out.
So, and you probably have 4 children. So she's holding 4 eggs. So when you are spiritually ready, she is going to give you the eggs. They are safe, they are being covered, they are being protected, and they are yours. She's going to give you the eggs when you are prepared for them. Okay? So you and your husband just have to get spiritually prepared for these eggs. And really your husband is prepared. But really you have to get spiritually prepared. And it's not anything harsh that you need to do it yourself. You just need to start the vaginal steaming and open yourself up. And your vaginal steam just is simple. It needs to be marigolds, calendula, and chamomile. And this is for anybody right here. When it comes to vaginal steams and stuff, I appreciate and love the companies that's selling them and all of that. But if any herbs, if you can do it yourself, do it yourself. Any type of work, anything that you're doing, anything magical. That's why I was telling y'all about the candles, how to, do your own herb candles and, do your own vaginal steams. If you could create it yourself, do it yourself, because just like the spiritual bath, each and everything you can infuse your intention, put your intention into it. So as you sprinkle your calendula, you sprinkle your chamomile, you sprinkle your marigolds, you are able to put your own intentions. When somebody makes it for you, they're making it with their intentions. And when you receive it, you can clean it and you can, put your own intentions into it. But if you can just do it yourself, just do it yourself if possible. But if you want to buy, but just be mindful. If you could do it yourself, do it yourself. So calendula, chamomile, marigolds is all you need for your steam. And to do the steam, you could just put it on the stove. You don't need to get the pot. If you want to get the pot, you can get the vaginal steam box and all that if you want to. But just put it on the stove. You let the water come to a high steam or a low boil, and you want to just take it off, and you can just take it in the bathroom, put it in the bathtub, and you want to just squat over it. Wear a long dress so the dress could envelop the steam, and you want to just squat over it. Okay. And you could do that every day. Okay. But and as you do that, you just pray, you say your mantras. I am well. I am mother. I am light. Hold a rose quartz or a clear quartz over your womb. Okay. Hold that over your womb, and you can speak that into yourself. Call your children to you. Call them by name, but call your children to you. Call them to you, and they will come when you are spiritually ready. And also receive the mother energy. Receive the mother energy. Give gratitude for the mothers that are in your life, for the women who are in your life, for the nurturing energy. Okay, receive that mother energy into your life and heal any rifts, any discord that you may have with aunties, with any type of mother energy. Heal the rifts and the discords, and keep doing that vaginal steam and keep doing that work, and your children will come. Give gratitude, give thanks. They're already here.
Thank you.
No problem. Anybody else?
Yes.
Okay, Camilla.
Okay, I have 2 questions actually. So my first question is, I'm not sure if I read it on Patreon or one of your videos or wherever, but somebody has said to collect the rainwater.
Mm-hmm.
What am I supposed to do with this rainwater? I had a bucket on my porch for 2 weeks. I finally got some water. What am I supposed to do with this rainwater?
You could cleanse the rainwater. So cleanse the rainwater, and you could use it for anything. Once you cleanse it with the rainwater, y'all want to bring that to a steam so that you can boil out any impurities or anything. So purify the rainwater. If you have a purifier, like a water irrigation, a purifier system, use that. But purify the water, and then you can use it for anything. You can use it for spirit water. You can use it to clean off your altar. You can use it to do a floor wash for your house. You can use it for anything. You could take a spiritual bath in the rainwater. I like to use it in my hair, but the rainwater is the connection with the universe. It's a connection with the water element within the universe. It's really that connection that we get with Shango energy, with Oya energy. So that's the purpose of the rainwater. So use it, purify it, clean it, and then use it for any type of
I
spiritual
got a
work that you
whole
want to use it
bucket
for.
full now. And I left a bucket on my porch. It rained here in Kentucky for like 4 days. I left a bucket on my porch. I was like, I'm gonna get some of this rainwater. I don't know what to do with it,
But
I'm
you
gonna
got
get
you some.
it.
Okay.
So my second question is this, a little more complex. So with the last full moon or whatever, like I've been sharing the tools and the things that I'm learning with my 17-year-old daughter. And she's very interested, and it like makes me go harder because she's so interested in it. Like I feel like I need to be able to teach her. But what I'm struggling with right now is like on the last full moon, we did the full moon ceremony, and I did the whole releasing of all my toxic relationships because that's a thing for me. And when I did my manifestations, I am trying to manifest me a husband. So
Okay.
I did that, and I took and I folded it up. I put it under my candle. I've been lighting my candles every day, all the things. But my problem is that
Your
my
husband ain't here
ex-husband
yet.
keeps popping up.
Oh, your ex-husband keep popping up.
So my ex-husband is the father of our 3 children. Known him for 19 years. We were married. We were on and off for 13 years. And then we got married and stayed married for 22 weeks and got divorced. I did not talk to this man for the last 5 years. Up until February of this year, we had not spoken 5 years. So now when I am releasing the toxic energy and trying to manifest me a husband, he keep popping up.
Okay.
I don't know what to do with that.
So 2 things. Number 1, there may be some repair. There may be room for repair with that relationship with your ex-husband that you need to prepare you for the relationship with your husband. Okay.
My real husband,
Yeah.
my forever husband.
Absolutely. So with your ex-husband, I'm not going to say there needs to be a conversation, but there needs to be some healing work within that relationship, and there's room for that. It's room for there to be a reconciliation of sorts. You know what I'm saying? With no ill intent and a peaceful, amicable departure. You know what I'm saying? And there's room for, need I say, a friendship. Okay, there's
But
room
I
for
say that now. I say that now because we're in the COVID or whatever. We can't go outside. It's a whole lot of foolery. I work 60 hours a week. And I told my best friend the other day, like, it's a sad state of affairs when I can say that my ex is my best friend because he's the only person I talk to. We have to talk about these kids. Like, we have 3 children. We have to talk. So at this point, like, he's my best friend because I talk to him almost every day. We have a better relationship now than we've ever had being together. And like, I'm in the process of remodeling my house to try to sell it. And he comes every day and he helps me do stuff around the house. Like, we have a better relationship now than we've ever had. And I'm grateful for that. But while I'm trying to manifest my husband, he cannot be riding shotgun.
But why not? You know, why not? He could be in the trunk of the car. He ain't got, you know, why not? Why can't he? You know? This is the thing. Your ex-husband is a part of your tribe. He's a part of your tribe, you know, and what it's about is not associating the two. You know what I'm saying? It's about, you know, transmuting his energy, transmuting your perception of him, your view of him.
Yes.
He's no longer your ex-husband. He is your tribe member. You know what I'm saying? He's your tribe member. He's your friend. He is, you know, your co-parent. That's who he is, you know? So if you can possibly, you know, relax on even using the term, my ex-husband, you know, my co-parent, my friend, my tribe member, call him what you desire him to be in your life. You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
You don't want him to be the XXX. You know, he is,
My best
welcome him. Absolutely. Welcome him and accept him for who he is and how he shows up in your life. You know, and all of that is making room for your husband. You know, when you meet your husband, you have your husband in your life, you don't want to even present having a negative relationship. You want him to come in understanding that this is one of our tribe members. You know what I'm saying? And respect him as such, you know? So you got to treat him that way, and you have to view him that way. And, you know, I understand it's a transition, because you know, the ex-husband life, you know, you may have you held on to some things and you dealt with some stuff, so that all of that is associated with the ex-husband term, and that's okay, you know, but we're releasing that. So that may need to be a part of your release. You are releasing ex-husband, and you have manifested friend, you have manifested tribe member, you have manifested co-parent, you have manifested a positive relationship. So you're releasing all of the negative associations that you had with ex-husband, and you are accepting him for who he is. And that is making room for your husband, because you can't manifest your husband if you still even using the term husband associated with another nigga. Okay, you can't do that. You out here calling for a husband, but you still calling this man a husband, but you putting X in front of it, but you still calling him a husband.
And you know what I found out in my work was validation was a strong point for me. Like, as a child, I was really emotional, and my parents always told me to shut up. Nobody ever asked me why I was crying. Like, validation was a strong point for me. And for him, he was the hottest nigga in the city at the time when I caught him.
Okay, now you got you a hot boy. Okay.
All of that. But it never was about me and him. It was about the validation that I felt being with the nigga that every chick wanted.
Okay.
It was never like, we did 19 years together, we got 3 kids, but that wasn't what it was about. Like, that's what I came through in my work. Like, I can let him go because I don't need that validation anymore. I validate myself.
And have you done that work to fully validate yourself and to fully heal from that need of validation? Okay.
I was the one in Patreon, not in Patreon, but in Discord with the validation tattoo.
Oh, yes,
Shining on my hand because I'm my own validation. Like, I don't need him to validate me anymore, but it went so much further, like, into my relationship with my brother, my relationship with my father. Like, I needed them to validate me. And when I don't feel validated, I get angry, and then I lash out, and then I pop off, and all of the things. But, like, I'm at a place now, like, I validate me. I'm good. I'm okay.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And not only that, but you are also a validator. You know, you are a validator. You can validate other people, and, you know, especially young girls who you see that needed what you needed. You could be that validation for them. Be that person that compliments them, that uplifts them, that builds them up. You know, especially your daughter. You know, you spoke on how your daughter. She's 17 and she's
17. And I have the conversations with her, like, sometimes the conversations I have with her, other people look at me like I'm crazy, but no, I have the real, like, what I felt like when I was 17. Because how me and her daddy ever got together, like, he wanted a baby real bad. 2 weeks after I met him, he told me I was going to have his daughter. He wanted a baby. I was not with it. I did not ever want to have kids ever in my life. But I can say that he trapped me, because he kind of did. But at the same time, in my 17-year-old mind, I thought about it like, even if I get pregnant by him, I can go ahead and have an abortion. We'll still have that connection. He'll still be my baby daddy. And I can move on and live my life or whatever. And I could still, like, hold on to him, because that was my validator at the time. But when I got pregnant, there was no abortions and none of that going on. Like my conscience wouldn't let me do it. So I had my baby and I did what I had to do and hell, had 2 more. But I have those conversations with her because at 17, your 17-year-old dumbass mind thinks that's really going to work.
Mm-hmm.
No, I have those conversations because I don't ever want her to do the things that I've done to validate herself. I'll validate her all day, every day, period.
Absolutely. And that's a beautiful thing. You know, those real honest, transparent conversations, that's what I grew up on. You know, I grew up from that. I grew up on the real, honest, raw, transparent conversations that, you know, a lot of people, I was the child that people was like, she don't need to be hearing all that, or she know too much or whatever. But I'm here, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And the thing for me is understanding the value of people knowing people. You know, if more people knew the real of other people, they would feel less alone. People feel so alone on their journeys when it comes to struggling with the need for validation, when it comes to struggling with anything, self-doubt, anything, because nobody talks about this. You know, nobody talks about, and nobody's willing to admit, I needed validation and I was looking for that. And this is what it looked like when I was looking for validation. This is how I sought validation. This is what it felt like when I was getting validated. Nobody is clear and honest and transparent. So those conversations is how we connect. You know, it's how we validate each other, you know, by talking about our real feelings and our real struggles and things that we go through in our healing process. You know, as you guys are on your spiritual journey and as you heal, as you go through your healing process, once you feel the need, be as transparent as possible with people around you. When people come to you and they have questions, be as transparent as possible. Please, please, please do not have everyone thinking that this journey is easy, that is perfect, that is crystal clear. Talk about those times where you feel unsure. Talk about those days that you wake up and you're not at your highest vibration and you got to do the work to get there. Some days I wake up and I don't feel good. So I got to listen to songs and listen to, you know, do meditation and, you know, do chanting and do things to elevate my vibration. I got to do the work to elevate my vibration. So what I do is I talk about it. Because when someone wakes up in their low vibration, I don't want them to feel like something is wrong with them. I don't want them to feel like they're doing something wrong or they're not good enough for this journey. That's a part of the journey. You know, feeling the need for validation, that was a part of your journey. And there's a lot of other people, men and women, who are in that space. So even when those feelings creep back on you, now you're able to share your healing tools. This is a tool that I use to heal from that. When I'm feeling like that, this is what I do. I validate myself. I pour that energy into myself. And even if I don't believe it at first, I keep on pouring until my cup is full. You know, share those journeys, especially with your babies, because they need to hear that. You know, they need to hear that.
And I do. I'm so brutally honest with them. Sometimes my 15-year-old son be like, Mama, oh my God. No, I'm going to tell you everything, and I share everything. Like my kids got rose quartz and amethyst, walk around in their pockets, like the whole thing. Like I'm gonna share everything with you because I want you to be your best self. And I feel like at 36 years old, I'm just now getting to learn the tools even to be my best self. I want my daughter to be her best self at 17.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm gonna tell you this though, sis. She's not always gonna be her best self.
She's
and
not.
You ain't always gonna be your best self. I'm not always my best self.
Next year, and I want her to get as far away from me and her daddy as she can, so that she can feel it out, love it, do it. Like I want them to live it, but I have to set that foundation.
Absolutely.
Like you're not gonna always be your best self. Hell, I done had my days. I was not always my best self, but you have the foundation that you know you can come home to.
This is my philosophy with the tribe, you know, with my friends, with my family, with wellness community, with my tribes. No matter what the relationship title is, with our tribe, to be a good tribe member, you have to see yourself as a safety net.
Yeah.
People in your tribe are going to walk the tightrope. Okay, they are going to walk the tightrope, and the tightrope is their journey. And you can be, you know, you don't want to be the person screaming on the sideline, do this thing, go there, put your arm up. You don't want to be that person. You just got to be the safety net. Just be the safety net. Let people walk the rope and do what they need to do to balance themselves, okay? But when they fall, before they hit the ground, you are their safety net. And think about someone who's a tightrope walker. The safety net just simply catches them, prevents them from hitting the ground. They crawl and they get back up and they start again. That's all it is. So you're not here to tell them what to do. You're just here to be a safety net as they figure it out for themselves. And when they fall, you're just there. They're going to crawl and then they go and climb up and start again. And that's all you could be.
I love it. Thank you so much.
That sister's relationship is what I'm wanting. You know, when she said she's best friends with her new friend, right? Her tribe member.
Right.
That's what I've been trying to build with my ex. I've been wanting to do that so bad. We have 2 adult children, and now our daughter has had a baby, and so she's back home. She moved back in with him, and so we have this. We talk. He and I talk, but I just need him to get rid of that confusion as to where our relationship is now. He's so
the thing for me is my parents did the same thing. My parents didn't speak for several years until my daughter was born, who was the first grandchild. When she was born, I was going to nursing school, so it took my whole village to get us together and get her back and forth where she needed to be and to look out for me when I needed it, whatever. You have to
set
those boundaries. You have to set clear-cut boundaries with your ex, because I feel like with my ex, he has a keys to my house. Like, he comes in here when I'm not here and when I am, because I'm working on renovation, and he helps with that. But when he comes over and I'm here, if he sits on the couch next to me, I move and I make it clear, like, space, boundaries.
Oh yeah, I do that. But he's
but
so.
Other than that, if you have clear intentions and you have a clear heart and you are doing the things you're doing for the right reason, he has no choice but to respect that. You have to keep it consistent. Like, you can't be his friend one day and then his jump off or his ex the next day. Like, you have to keep it consistent, but he'll fall in line because you teach people how to treat you.
Yeah, jump. Okay, so jump. We don't get in the bed. No, none of that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you cannot blur the lines, because my ex-husband will blur the lines if I let him. I don't.
No, I make it clear. He won't accept it, is what I'm saying. I make it very clear where I'm coming from. He won't accept it, and he's stuck.
But the thing is, Lisa, you know, first off, Camilla, that was excellent advice that you just gave. As far as, you know, we teach people how to treat us, and we teach people how to behave around us. But also, if people refuse to take the lesson, if people refuse to respect your boundaries, you need to release them, period. Okay. So, you know, Lisa, you may desire a certain relationship with your ex-husband that is not what he is meant to be in your life. He may need to be released. You know, he may not be a tribe member. He may not be a friend. And although you want that relationship, that may not be the relationship that he's meant to have in your life. Camilla's ex-husband is Camilla's ex-husband. That's her tribe member. That's her friend. But your ex-husband may not be that person. You know what I'm saying? That may not be your story. Camilla's story may not be your story. You may need to release him. Okay. And that's with anybody. Anyone who is in anybody's life that refuses to respect your boundaries, that refuses to respect who you are, then they need to be released, period. Period. They need to be released. Okay. And especially if you've given multiple opportunities, you've given multiple opportunities for them to respect your boundaries. You've given them multiple opportunities to show you love. And that's the energy that you're giving. You're giving the energy of love. You're giving the energy of respect. If they are refusing to honor that, you got to let them go. You got to let them go. Okay. And
he's loving, but it's a controlling love. That's the problem.
Is that the love that you want?
Hell no.
So then you got to let it go. Okay. If you willing to compromise your boundaries, then he gonna compromise your boundaries. Okay. That's the teaching people how to treat you. If you keep on compromising, keep on bending on your boundaries, then he gonna keep on doing it. Okay. If he ain't giving you what you need, and this is with anybody, if people are not giving you what you need and they're not respecting you, let them go. Period. Do not compromise on your boundaries. Compromising on your boundaries is compromising on your wellness. Okay. Do not make that mistake. Don't compromise your wellness for nothing or nobody, because they wouldn't do the same for you.
Exactly.
Clearly, they forcing you to bend because they want to do what's good for them. Okay.
That's true. That's true. But I got to tell you, I don't bend. I don't think I do. Maybe I do and I don't realize it. But I tell him where I am and I tell him no. But I will say I'm not honest with him that I have someone else that I want to move forward with. I'm not honest about it because I don't think.
Why are you protecting his feelings? Why are you?
And that's bending.
He cannot handle it. I feel like it will set him over.
He has to handle it.
What I'm saying is that he's not stable mentally, and I don't know what he would do. That scares me.
Okay. So then that's a whole nother story. Okay. If you are in fear of him, you are in fear for your safety, then you need to move accordingly. You know what I'm saying? You have to move accordingly. If you are in fear for your safety, then you need to act accordingly. Don't even play about that. Don't even play about that. If you are in fear for your safety, you feel like he will do something to you, then he definitely needs to be removed from your life by any means necessary. Okay, girl? By any means necessary. I don't care if you need to put a restraining order. I don't care if you need to go and get you some protection. Okay? But you protect yourself. You protect your well-being by any means necessary. Don't compromise your life out of fear for him. You need to compromise his position in life, okay?
Exactly.
He needs to be removed. Okay, by any means necessary. Now, I ain't telling you to kill nobody, okay? I'm not saying that.
I'm just saying, but if it's me or you, it's definitely gonna be you.
Okay? If it's me or you, somebody gotta go. Okay?
Can you run that back, Queen?
Somebody got to go. It ain't gonna be me.
Ain't gonna be me.
I don't know if it's gonna be a one or a two, but it will be you. All right, I don't know.
It will be you.
Get you some protection, Lisa. Okay, get you some protection and take care of yourself. Ain't nobody got time. Okay.
That's what's
Ain't
up.
nobody got time. We too divine to be letting somebody else control.
If it's me or you, it's definitely gonna be you first.
Okay. Snip, snip. Or shoot, something. Okay, somebody has to go. Okay.
Kentucky is an open country state. It's gonna be you.
And New York is not, but I know some niggas who don't respect laws. Okay, and we just
let's be clear. Let's just be clear.
Now, I told him I have a gun and I'm working on getting one. I did tell him, our daughter is in his house, and he's not aggressive or anything. He's never hurt or hit me. He's just weird.
Lisa, it's you. It's you, Lisa. Lisa, it's you. It's you, Lisa. Okay, you, for some reason, you are attached to his energy. Okay, you are attached to his energy, and I'm just keeping it all the way real with you, Lisa. It is you. Okay, you are attached to his energy. It seems like you want to, you know, transform him into who you want him to be and to hold on to that. But he ain't that.
Yeah.
Okay, you can't change somebody. You can't change what somebody do. You can't change how somebody move. You can't make him into the man that you want him to be. Okay, you are holding on to his potential instead of the reality of who he is. Okay,
Right.
you got to let him go. Let him go. Let him go. Stop holding on to him. Stop hoping and wishing. Face reality. He is who he is, and who he is not for your wellness. Let him go. Okay, you're gonna have to wean him off. But to do that, you got to do the work within yourself to break that attachment. All right?
Okay.
You are attached. You got to break that attachment that you have to him.
Yes, I do. Okay.
Okay.
I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so going back to what you said to me earlier, like I just wanted to know if there was any way that we can do like a sidebar conversation or something like that, because I do have some stuff that I would like to say, and maybe you can give me some insight into without it being, you know, everybody, because I'm pretty sure it's gonna take a while.
Okay, no, so go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So I just wanted, because I'm on a $5 tier because that's all that's available.
That's all that was available.
So
Yeah.
I wanted to, you know what I'm saying? I just wanted to know if you could do that or how we would do it.
So I will be, I have worked some things out where for November, I was going to announce it tomorrow in the wellness community, but for the wellness community only, I will be offering one-to-one opportunities for the wellness community only. Okay, it's not a public thing. Okay, so we're not going to discuss this on YouTube. All right, for the wellness community only, and I'm going to put it in a Patreon. I just got to figure out how to like set up a schedule so people could sign up for like times and dates. But for the wellness community only, I'm going to open up the opportunity for us to do one-to-ones. And, you know, you can do a reading or, whatever it is that you desire for the wellness community only. And I'll start that for the month of November. So I was going to announce that in the Patreon, but we're here now. So announcements. Okay.
I just want to know how I get on the list.
Right, like sign me up first too.
Brandy, we gonna have to battle for the first spot.
So sis, what does it consist of as far as a reading is concerned? Because I know I had like a past life reading before, but you know, as far as when you do it, what do you address?
So essentially, it'll just really be what it is that, you know, you need, what you ask for, as well as what spirit leads me that you need. For this one, for the wellness community, I want to do a phone conversation. So I'll ask you for your phone number, and I'll call you and we can talk via phone. Because I want to, you know, be able to commune and be able to hear your story and be able to, you know, to do the reading how we're doing it now, where I can be able to have a conversation and really, really feel the energy coming directly from you, you know, through spirit. So it'll just be whatever it is that you desire and what spirit leads me that you need, you know, that you need to know, whatever messages, whatever you need to do, that's what it'll be. But instead of doing it via email and me writing out, you know, I know for sometimes I'll do the reading and I'll write everything out and I'll send you like 3 pages, 4 pages, 5 pages of everything, all the downloads, all the information that spirit gives. But I want to do it over the phone so that, you know, if you have follow-ups and all of that stuff, we can be able to, you know, address everything right there, kind of how we're doing now. And that's what it'll consist of.
Queen, I have another question. Will you have like I know you said the time availability slots, but will you do like in the evening, or like what'll be your time frame?
So that's the thing. So I will definitely do mostly evenings. Actually, I prefer to do readings in the evening, and that's why normally I'll usually do it via via email, because I wouldn't want to, you know, I do a lot of readings, especially too in the middle of the night. So doing like phone conversations, I like to, sometimes I'll start reading at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. But when I'm doing phone, it'll most likely be evening time that we'll be doing readings. And I'm not talking about 3, 4 a.m. Okay, I ain't gonna do that to y'all. But it'll probably be, I'll say probably like 3 or 4, probably starting at 4 p.m. and into the night. So I hope that evenings are okay for everyone. If you need to do a morning, we can make a morning happen. But I prefer that evening time. I'm a moon child, so.
Yeah, I asked because my work schedule, I'm usually not available until after 4. That's why I asked.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Yeah, that's perfect. And then that's also good for people who are, on the other side of the globe, who are in the UK and all that stuff too. So I'll be able to do evenings. I'll do mostly evenings.
And then what will be your price? What will be your rate for the readings?
For the wellness community, it'll be $20 for the wellness community. For others, it's more expensive. But for the wellness community, it'll be $20. And really, that's where I started with you guys. That's where I started with the wellness community. Yeah. So it'll be $20 for the wellness community, and then $20 an hour, and then it'll be more after.
Okay.
Queen.
And I'm up in the middle of the night, just for references. I'm a third shift worker, so I'm up in the middle.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. I'll take the 3 a.m. readings because that's
That's okay. Insomnia, so I'll be up in the middle of the night too.
All right, now listen. Don't if I call you at 3 a.m., don't act funny now. Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm up at that time of night.
4 a.m.
And listen,
Bath. I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay. Queen.
Well, when you get to Miami, it'll take like 15 minutes or less to get to the beach from anywhere.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. That's really what I'm going to Miami for. I'm going to Miami to be close to the water. Me and my sister Queen want to do some ceremony work while we're in Miami. So I'm literally specifically going to go to the water in Miami.
Now I got a reason to go to Miami.
Absolutely.
I don't know what to do. I don't know if maybe it's not.
You want to join us?
Well, I just want to. I feel like I'm so new that I'm like if I can watch or something.
You know
or
what?
Honestly, or something. I don't know.
I will. I'm gonna check in with her and ask her how she feels about that. But when I'm in Miami, if she's okay with it, because I want to respect her, her spirituality too. If she's okay with it, when I'm in Miami, we can definitely do that. Okay. We can absolutely do that. I don't too much like to record spirit work. But if you are there, if you are present and you want to watch and you want to learn, I have no problem explaining everything that I'm doing, explaining why we're putting certain things in the water, what we're saying, certain dances that we will do, certain things that we will say, because it'll be probably in Yoruba, because she is an Ifa practitioner, a Yoruba practitioner. So probably certain things that we'll say and certain things that we'll do. I'll explain everything if you are there, you are present. So
let me know when y'all in Miami and give me a reason to go.
Yes, I'll let y'all know.
Kentucky.
I'm going. I'm gonna check in with her first to make sure she's okay with that. But I feel like she should be too, because she's actually the one who taught me how to do tree offerings. She taught me how to do that. We rode out to a plantation in South Carolina. We rode out to a plantation out there, and she taught me how to do tree offerings. So yeah, she probably will be okay with it, but I'll let y'all know how she feels. I think it was Jacqueline who had a question, who wanted to speak.
Yes. Hi. Thank you.
No problem. Go ahead.
I wanted to say, first off, I'm so happy that you're doing this. I'm definitely going to sign up. But I also wanted to let you know that there's a tool that you can use that's free, and you can use it through your email to make a schedule. So people can just check, you can just put what times and days you have available.
Okay.
And we can just select which one.
Girl, put me on. What's the tool? I got my phone. Like, I'm ready to write it down.
It's assistant.to, I think. Let me double check. Assistant.to, and it's a Chrome extension, and it works through your Gmail.
Okay, and that works for me, a Chrome extension. Okay. Assistant.to.
Yes. Let me check and
Okay.
make sure. But it's free and it's wonderful.
Y'all
You don't have to
better
go
put me
you
on.
don't have to go back and forth or anything.
Okay.
Yeah, assistant.to, so two. Assistant
Okay.
dot two.
So when y'all see my assistant.to post in the Patreon, you know that it's time, okay? It is time. Does anybody else have a question or anything? I want us to get to bad hair. I said that was going to be the last thing on the agenda topic, just so we can end with something fun. But before we
I
get
have a
there,
question,
you
Paul.
have a question? Okay, go ahead.
This isn't like on a I have tons of questions, but this one in particular, like I said, I've been meeting with my nieces and nephews and making time every Thursday where we sit down. But I got one that, and I know you used to teach, and when you have somebody that's disconnected but need the attention, how do I get her active or involved? She won't do a journal or the vision board. Everybody else responds in a text. So I even try to get it to the point where I was like, even if you see my text and you just to let me know you got it, send something, but how do I get her engaged a bit? What would you recommend?
What is she
And my
into?
phone
What
was
does she
crazy
enjoy?
low. I don't know what just happened, but it was up and now it's very, very low. So if you don't see my face, it's because I'm trying to put the mic on my ear.
Okay. But what does she enjoy? What does she like?
Just hanging out with her friends or sitting back. I know the part of it when we just talk about like old stuff, and I talk about when me and my sister were younger, what we used to do growing up. They get a kick out of that, but other than that, she's like doesn't participate. And I'm sure she got a lot going on because some subjects I can see her like curl up a little bit. When she's around the family, she does talk more, but I don't know if it's a trust issue or I don't feel comfortable in front of everybody. I just want to find out like how can I get her to open up a little bit.
So first off, the first thing would be to not force her. Don't make her feel pressure. Don't be too invasive. It's really just to create a safe space. You really wanna you wanna create a safe space. You want to give her time. You want to give her opportunity. So just create an abundance of opportunity for her to feel safe. And ask her what does she need to feel safe? Like ask her what does she need to feel comfortable, or really you can just observe at what times does she feel most comfortable, at what stories do you tell that she seems to become more vulnerable and open up more. What are her triggers of vulnerability, and tap into those. But also when the moments that she does even give a hint of vulnerability, give a hint of being open and being present and being willing, reinforce that, honor that, give praise to it, just be a safe space, but not too much pressure. And then also be an example, continue to share, don't give up. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people like that, they're used to being able to retreat until people give up and they just leave them alone. Don't give up, stay present and keep trying, but not in a way where she feels pressured or feel forced. Just whenever it's her time, and she'll be there. She'll be ready when it's her time.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Thank you, because it's really tough for everybody else to get in, and then it's just like she just look over like it's annoying sometimes, and I don't know.
Yeah, she may not feel ready. She may not feel validated. Speaking to what Camilla said, she may not feel validated yet, and that's okay. Just keep being a safe space and keep giving the opportunity for comfort. And it'll come when she's ready during her time. She ain't gonna be ready when you want her to be ready. She's gonna be ready during her time when it's meant for her to be ready.
Okay, good stuff. Thank you.
No problem. Or love. Anyone else? Okay, I'm gonna start counting down.
Man, I could talk all day, but I don't want to waste.
Yeah, I know. I ain't want to do too much. I feel bad.
Okay.
Say thank
we'll wait
you
till
so
my one-on-one.
I just wanted to say thank you so much, and I enjoyed everyone sharing their story. I learned from everyone, and this was just beautiful. Just beautiful.
It is a beautiful thing, and Queen Poe, I just want to acknowledge you and thank you, because your videos are my life. and I have done so much work accordingly, and I am so happy. I'm so proud. I'm so thankful.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I received that love,
Yes,
and I
thank
give it
you.
back to
Definitely
y'all.
appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate this energy. You know, I feel just as much gratitude. You know, the wellness community was a vision. It was a vision, and it manifested. And I was, you know, just like how we spoke on earlier. You know, I felt concerned. I felt like I needed to have a syllabus. I still have a syllabus in my phone that I wrote out, and I wanted to be strategic, and I wanted to be this. And then there was a moment that I decided to just release and to let be. You know, I remember it was like around, I want to say like April, I started receiving emails, and people were like, "Oh, you're moving too fast," and I was being too. That's why I'm speaking from experience. When I gave that advice, I was being too strategic, and I was doing too much. Really, I was just doing too much, and people needed to breathe. And that was the moment that I had to recognize within myself that I was doing too much, and that people needed to breathe. And I backed up, and I just released it to the universe. And since then, the wellness community has been prospering in such a beautiful, divine way. The group chat, I always say on my YouTube videos how the group chat for me is the highlight of the wellness community. And I wasn't even expecting that. I wasn't even really expecting the group chat to be the highlight, but it is the highlight because it's the space where we can have these conversations via text. I feel like I'm texting everybody at the same time, and that feels good. So I'm super grateful that we have a safe space, that we can have these talks and we can share about our inner work, because there's not too many places in the world where we can do this. You can't go to work like, let me tell you about this trauma that I'm healing from. You don't want to bring that to the family dinner. You don't want to always bring that to the bedroom with your spouse. You don't always want to weigh people down, or do what you feel is weighing people down with these deep, heavy talks. I remember even trying to talk to some friends, and one of my friends, he told me, he said, look, everybody don't want to talk about that deep shit all the time. He was like, we chilling. Like, we just trying to smoke and chill, like calm down, And meanwhile, I'm like, this retrograde is da-da-da-da. He like, nigga, can we talk about Martin? Like, I want to watch Martin right now. Let's just chill. And I had to realize that, everybody, every moment, everybody is not that safe space. And I wanted the wellness community to be a consistent, constant safe space where when you are with your family, when you are with your spouse, when you are at work and you need to talk to somebody about this, it's always somebody there that you can speak to that will receive it well. So thank y'all for filling up the wellness community.
Ashe.
Ashe, I appreciate it. Ashe. Okay, so let's end with some good stuff. Bad hair. If you've seen it, if you haven't seen it, it's okay. We could just talk about some overall stuff. But if you've seen it and you enjoyed it, I literally finished watching it at like 7:30. So like right before this, I finished it up. I watched the beginning of it a couple days ago, and I was like, okay, but I needed to be like present to fully watch it. I was trying to watch it and do work at the same time. Y'all, that was a good film.
It was good.
That was a good film. I was shocked. There were so many layers to it. The acting was good. Y'all talked about Blair Underwood. I know y'all spoke about Blair Underwood in the group chat.
Yes, Blair. Oh my gosh. He looked so good with the salt and pepper hair. I was like, look at you.
Look at how you're looking.
Look at how you're looking. Okay, Blair is a zaddy, honey. Okay. I was big zaddy energy.
Bad hair,
Big zaddy energy. I was like, like, is he married? Can she find him?
Where did you see it at?
You get Denzel a run for it, I tell you.
On Hulu. Bad Hair is on Hulu.
Okay.
On Hulu, gotcha.
Yeah, it's on Hulu. But I think I'm the only person, like, I didn't enjoy it that much. Like, it was just so predictable and like
it was
no,
predictable to
maybe I
you?
need to watch it again because I was half watching it as I was like doing my morning routines or whatever when I got off work, but I didn't enjoy it that much.
I was just trying to figure out, I guess, like a lot of the symbolism, like with the hair, because I was like, I was trying to understand in the beginning how this was gonna turn into a horror movie. I was
Oh, it's
like,
a horror movie?
It's a horror
yeah,
movie.
I got it.
it doesn't
Like,
Because
start
I was
off
thinking
like
about
that
Good Hair,
though.
Bad Hair with Chris Rock, but yeah, no.
No, I understood the symbolism of like, I got my whole wig on right now. Like it is projecting us to be somebody who we're really not kind of thing, but I just didn't.
Yeah, I've seen the shadow work. I've seen the shadow all up in that movie, and
Yeah,
it
it was
so
a
many
lot of
layers
that.
to it. Yeah, so many layers to it. Like Queen said, it was so interesting, and so I mean, it was not your typical horror movie. I will say that.
No, it wasn't. It was very interesting how the hair needed blood in order, because as the movie progressed, I was like, wait, her hair is getting longer. It didn't start off that long. And it's like the more blood it got, the longer the hair got.
Yeah, there was a part where I think her period was coming on and like the hair like went down and I was like, hold on.
Yeah, that was when I figured out, no, this thing like is intentional about getting blood. Because when she cut her finger, I was like, okay, that's weird. And then when her hair killed her landlord, and I was like, okay, that's weird. But that, I said, no, this thing, no, so it wants blood. That's not a coincidence.
So essentially, okay, what I got from it was the energy, right? So essentially, I feel like the lesson that I received from it was how, hair holds energy.
Yeah.
It holds the energy to the person who it grew from. And the origin of the hair was it came from witches. And the witches were trying to stay alive and they needed blood in order to stay alive. And they needed to occupy a vessel, which was the person who, was getting the weaves.
Okay.
Now, for Camilla, girl, ain't nothing wrong with a good weave, honey, or a good wig, okay? Just bless it, smudge it, and cleanse it before you put it on.
Yeah, because that's one of the messages that I got from the movie, sis, was what you're talking about right now about the cleansing and smudging, because when we're out here buying, these human hair wigs and weaves and stuff, we don't know nothing about that energy that it came from when we're putting it on our head. And that's one of the messages that I got from the movie, that, especially the part where they were showing the bodies in the bag on the movie. I was like, oh my goodness. So this is where all this negative energy is coming from. But yeah, that smudging and that cleansing of human hair.
I got wigs for every day of the week, and I done seen every last one of them.
Let me tell you, I trust and believe.
Right.
Trust and believe. Okay, if I would have known back then what I know now, I would have been a wig slayer, honey. Okay. Back when I was going through them rough struggle days, I would have been a wig slayer. I am always here for a good weave and a good wig. I got a friend who she does like the I hate to even call them this, but the Kim Kardashian billow curls. And I be watching her do her hair like, girl, I love a good slay. But the thing is making sure that you cleanse that energy.
Every last one of them.
Absolutely. You have to. And I you know what I'm looking forward to? I'm looking forward to the hairstylist who packages that as a part of her brand. The weave distributor who starts packaging that as a part of their brand, like the spiritual cleansing of the hair before they sell it to you. That's really going to blow somebody's business up. When somebody packages that as a part of their marketing and they actually start cleansing the hair and do spiritual cleansing, crystals in the water and everything, and then
you say that, and a part of my future plans is I'm a labor and delivery nurse. So I deliver your baby all day. But once I get myself together, I'm gonna go back to school to be a midwife. That's a part of my practice. Like I want to open a birthing center that not only births your babies, but creates a safe space for your babies to marinate in, because I am a true believer that you bathe in a toxic womb, you come out toxic. I want to do the whole life, like the whole wellness of the mother.
Yeah.
As she is growing this baby and birthing this baby. And I want your birthing experience to be that of wellness, that of somebody that is going to make great changes in this world, that of somebody that is going to do great things. Like, you have to create that environment.
But let me tell you something, Camilla. Let me know when you start. I am there. Okay, I will be volunteering. I'm here and I'm present.
Yes,
Absolutely, I'm a doula. Yeah, and that's
I'm
the thing.
thinking 2 years.
Doing the doula work. So when I first started my doula journey, I was in Ghana at the time, and when the Haitian baths came up, I learned that comes from West Africa. And they carried that tradition. Of course, they carried that tradition as we were dropped off in various parts of the world,
Yeah.
So in Brazil, they have a version of a spiritual bath for mothers who are postpartum, who have just given birth. They have one in Cuba. They have, of course, they have it in Haiti. They have it in Ghana.
My volume went all the way down on my phone.
Okay. Got it. They have it in Senegal. They have it in multiple places. The thing about it, with the doula experience, and just with anything, with birthing and with laboring and carrying a child, because really that energy starts upon conception. You have to be very intentional about the energy that you put into your womb before you even receive a child, but especially through carrying and through laboring and through delivering, as well as postpartum care. Somebody, I think it was Lisa, who had reached out about blessing a baby, and we can give our babies spiritual baths too. When I was in Ghana, they taught us how to give babies spiritual baths. So there at the birthing center that I was volunteering in, when they were training me, my first lesson was spiritually bathing a baby. That was my first lesson. And at that time, I wasn't even fully aware of like all of the herbs and everything that they were using. And I was like, well, is that going to harm them with that? And the lady literally told me this. She said, why would God give you something that is going to harm you? Everything has a purpose. Everything has intention. She said, even what they call poison. Even what they call poison. Didn't your ancestors give poison to their enemies? That poison was a blessing for your ancestors. You know what I'm saying? So everything on this planet has purpose and intention and can be used. So we need to channel that, and we need to use that and incorporate that work into everything, from birthing babies to hair to everything. Any industry, spirituality is about to be incorporated across every single industry. And that's where the elevation of the collective consciousness is coming. That's where like the spiritual awakening is coming. People are realizing this stuff. This is no longer a secret. This is no longer demonic and stuff that we're running and hiding from. As a collective, we are realizing this, so as people realize, and as people start their journeys and take their journeys, they're going to start sprinkling this magic in everything that they do. So we're going to see it. Watch. We're going to start to see people advertising spiritually cleansing hair before they sell it to people. We're going to see
Catholics already do it. They call it christening.
You said
they call it christening with the babies, when they sprinkle the babies, the christening or the baptism or whatever. That just goes right back to, like you said, to Africa.
Absolutely.
You might see me selling the hair that is spiritually cleansed, because that's a movement.
And sis, you can do the locks. You can spiritually cleanse the locks, sis.
You know what that makes me remember, because I was wanting to do the 111 bath, and I'm starting to grow locks, and I'm like, how do I do that? How do I get all the way under and not mess up my locks?
You put a tight cap on, or you could put on a head wrap like this, but whatever you put on, you want to do it tight. The reason they tell you not to wash your locks is for fear that they will unravel.
Right,
If
right.
if you put a tight cap on or you put a head wrap on that's tight, you can get them wet and they'll still hold in place because you have on, you know, something tight. So you could put your stocking cap, and I say stocking cap because that is, it's more permeable, so things can get through it.
Right.
And with that being stated, after you get out, you can blow dry it with the cap still on, and it's going to hold in place, and it'll quickly dry your locks as well.
Nice, nice. Okay, okay. Thank you.
I had a question about locks.
Okay, go ahead.
And I've been natural since 2008. I've been natural, and I'm really, locks have just been on my mind, like really considering locks. Do I have to cut my hair off to make my natural hair locks, or can I just start where I'm at?
You can start where you are. You just have to choose your method. So if you have a fro, or no matter what style, no matter what length your hair is, you can choose to back comb, you can interlock, you can coil, you can do so many different things. There's so many different methods. You just have to choose the one for you. Honestly, I recommend interlocking. The benefits of interlocking is that your hair is immediately locked. So you don't have to go through the phase of like, oh, wash it or don't wash it for this amount of time. When they interlock it, it's locked right there. So, you know, you can wash it or do whatever, and it's done. The only thing about interlocking is that you can't comb that out. So if you change your mind and you want to comb your locks out, that's it. So if you make the decision to lock your hair and you ain't too sure, then don't interlock. But if you know this is something you want to do, then interlock it. And that's like the quickest, best method, especially if you have a fro. You can also start locks with 2-strand twists. Some people start them with braids. I don't think that's the cutest method, but some people started with braids. Some people start, like I said, start with 2-strand twists. I actually think it's cute when people do it with 2-strand twists. You just have to be patient along that journey, especially with the 2-strand twists and the coils. The coils is the roughest one. The coils is the one that you gotta. I think it's the one you gotta have the most patience with, because the coils
That's
are so
how
sensitive.
I started these with
Right.
the coil, not the finger coil, the comb
coil.
Yeah.
When they do, you're saying that you can actually take the locks out when they just do a twist? You can comb them out?
Yeah, when your locks, if you get your locks twisted or palm rolled, you can comb them out. But if you get them interlocked, you can't comb them out. It'll pop the hair. Because with interlocking, essentially, this is a lot, but essentially what you are doing is you are interlocking and you are weaving the hair when you interlock it. So you are doing it in a clockwise motion or counterclockwise motion, excuse me, and you are just weaving the hair through. So it's almost knotting it on itself.
I've seen it
if you
on
try to comb it out,
YouTube.
you're gonna pop your hair out. So you can't comb out interlocks and have a
Right.
healthy result. Okay, it's gonna be all broken up and stuff. But if it's palm rolled, or it's comb coiled, then that's going in one pattern in one direction. So you can easily just comb those out during any time of your journey. So if you have locks for 20 years and you change your mind,
Wow.
you can easily comb out coiled or palm rolled locks.
And no matter what type of hair texture you have?
No matter what type of hair texture you have, I always say the kinkier the better. But no matter
Mine's
what type
the
of hair
kinkiest.
texture you have, absolutely. So that's the better. Your locks will be. I always say, to me, kinky hair is perfect for locking. The kinkier the hair, the better. The higher of the 4s of the alphabets, okay, the better it is for locks. If you are lower on the, the 2s and the 3s and the A's and the B's, it will be harder for your hair to lock because your hair is softer, so it's not as much friction. It'll be harder for it to lock and bond together. When you have kinky hair, you have tighter coils, you have closer bonds. So your hair bonds together more easily. But the softer your hair, the looser the bonds, the harder it is to coil, the harder it is to lock together permanently.
But the harder it is to take out. Like if your hair is kinkier, it's harder to take it out, right?
Yes. If your hair is kinkier, it'll be harder to comb it out. Because you literally, when you comb it, anytime you comb your hair, you're breaking bonds. But you are breaking the bonds, so it'll be tougher to break those bonds with kinkier hair. But you literally just have to
I got
soak
the
it in
kinky hair that'll lock in 2 weeks. Real life. Keep
Let me
here.
tell you, that's the best though. That is the best for real. When you box,
Yes. I used to fight with my daughter's hair, and I had to wash her hair when she was little. I swear her hair would lock instantly. And so it was like I had to set aside hours to deal with her hair when I washed it when she was little.
yeah, gotta detangle it and all of that stuff. That's one thing about locks. I don't miss those days. I do not miss detangling. I don't miss wash days. I don't miss that process. And that was the interesting thing about the Bad Hair movie for me, was that like to see the pain that she was in when she was getting her hair done and going through that journey of having her hair permed and having it burned out. Her scalp was burned and she had the scar. And I was like, the way that the movie was so well written to me, although I felt like the reason I had to come back for a second watch, that when I watched it at first, I was like, I stopped at the part where she was getting the sew-in and, you know, they showed the needle and it was bleeding and all that. I'm like, I used to do sew-in. So I'm like, oh, they being dramatic. You know,
that's what I was saying.
Pouring that much blood and doing a sew-in, you don't know how to do a sew-in. Like, you should not be drawing blood doing somebody's sew-in. She shouldn't even be that close to the scalp. I was like, what is she doing? But, you know, as I went back, this watch, I was like, oh, I get what they was trying to do. I understood it. But, you know, just that universal Black girl experience and Black boys of having your hair detangled and pulled and yanked out and you crying and, you know, the hot combs and the perms, the relaxers, all that stuff. It was just like, it was very, very relatable. And then I also love how they drew in the spiritual side where, you know, Blair Underwood finding where he gave her the book. You know what I'm saying?
About the moth hair.
You know, I was like, you better drop this spiritual wisdom, Zeddy. You know, he gave her the book and he was basically like, you know, read this story. And as she was reading it, it was telling her how the hair was carrying energy. You know, this hair carries this energy and this is what happens. And they related it to slavery and connected it back there, you know, with the trees and, you know, the people thought that they owned the hair. They owned whatever grew from the trees and they repackaged it and sold it. I thought that was good.
I gotta watch it again because it just
that was really interesting. Because I was thinking to myself when she went to go get the sew-in, I said, I know I can't be the only one who think the hairdresser looked like a witch. It was so obvious. I was like, she looks like a witch. Nobody else in the salon see this.
She looked like a witch, and then too when sis, when you was talking about when the beautician was sewing the hair and how she was going in deep and it was bleeding, you know what I'm saying? The hair was demanding that blood because, you know, I guess it needed blood to
feed off of.
So that, I think that's the way that she had to do it, because in the movie, everybody that went to that salon and got a weave at some point was sitting around tapping on their flipping head, you know.
Yes. And with their eyes, I was like, I said, are we really gonna pretend like nobody sees what Kelly Rowland, her character? I think her name was Sandra. I said, nobody see her eyes. That's not weird.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, does nobody else see it? Like, do you have to have the hair to see it? But the thing, and shout out to all the cameos that was in the movie between Kelly Rowland, Laverne Cox, who was the hairdresser, had Usher. You know, I was like, y'all really, this is a movie.
Oh, Lena Waithe.
It was
Lena
a movie.
Yeah. Yes.
It was a movie.
Who was the producer? Do y'all know who produced it?
I saw the name, but I don't remember.
Yeah, I was wondering. I said it must be somebody who's known. Like
after
in the
movie, there's a if you on Hulu, there's like a little I guess, you know, a piece where the producer of the movie is actually talking about the movie. So if you, after you watch the movie, if you wait maybe like 10 minutes, there's like another program that comes on where the producer of the movie is actually talking. So
Talking about the movie, I'm gonna have to watch that. Cause I said whoever
MC Light. I just thought of that too. MC Light was in it.
MC Light was. Oh, MC Light was
Yeah,
in it.
yeah. MC Light was in it. Vanessa Williams. I was like, they have a lot of.
So the music industry was in that movie.
But listen, I said they dropped a coin. Okay, that film had to be a coin. Okay, because it was some faces. I was like, oh, all right, we not playing, you know. But it was a good movie. I really felt like, you know, I love the layers of the meaning, the spiritual aspect of it, the fact that it was a horror film. You know, I feel like Jordan Peele ushered in that whole Black people in horror. He ushered that in, and I feel like Black folks, as we do, we taking it and we are running with it. And I love that they did it. I'm not a big horror film watcher. My sister Queen Imani Latif,
love it.
She is a filmmaker and she loves horror movies. She actually has this thing where every Halloween, for all 31 days of October, she watches one horror movie per day, at least one per day. I'm like, yeah, Robbie. I'm like,
Did you finish? Finish Lovecraft Country?
Oh, that's what I was trying to put.
Oh yeah, I finally got to watch it.
That was amazing.
Lovecraft was deep.
I'm still on episode 3.
You still episode 3?
I haven't
No,
even started
so what
watching
I
it
had
yet.
to do with Lovecraft is I watched it as it was coming on, and I did a little research on it, and then before the season finale, I watched the first 9 episodes so I could be ready for the season finale, and then I went back and watched the whole thing over again to catch it all. Lovecraft is deep.
It is. It has a lot to it. Because I watched all of them, and I was just like, I'm going to have to watch this again.
No, I watched it 3 times at this point. It's so deep, but once you get it, and it's good.
Is it scary?
It's not a filler movie. Like, you can watch it and clean up. You have to watch it.
It's genuinely scary.
I can't get into it.
I don't like scary stuff, but that I could
Some
tolerate.
of the magic in it. I think it's like episode 7 when she starts shedding the skin and shit. Like,
oh yeah, that was nuts.
Okay, wait, don't spoil it.
Yeah.
I won't spoil it for you, but some of it is weird as shit. But you gotta, like, once you get the whole gist of the whole thing, it's good as hell. But
yeah,
I did turn my head away from, like, I don't want to see them do that. I don't.
Yeah,
I
but
feel like by
don't spoil it. 'Cause
time
I want to see it too.
By the time they got to episode 10, I felt like the whole thing had just come full circle.
It came full circle. And then when I watched it again, I finally realized, like, in the very first episode was the little Korean girl. You wouldn't have picked up on that until you understand where it comes in.
Yeah, because I was like, who is he? I was like, who is he fight? What is going on?
Okay. I'm gonna watch. You know, he gonna do scary, but he was able to
but it's good.
I'm gonna watch. For me, the only part that was like a deterrent was as soon as the monsters come, I'm like, y'all, stop that. Stop.
That's the good part.
Can we just discuss the fact that as soon as the monsters came, Journey was not playing. That bitch got on her whole. She was running. She was not the little black girl that got killed in the first 3 minutes. Journey was running, Jack.
Right, I'll just have to watch it during the day.
Yeah, I had to watch it during the day. I cannot watch it at night, but I'm
my
scared. I don't like scary stuff, but I could tolerate that. But I had to watch it during the day. The only way I could get through.
No, I watched it at night because I worked 3rd shift, so I was at work watching it. Like, y'all better stay asleep over there because
So I'm like that. I gotta watch mine during the day with the blinds open. Okay.
Absolutely. Like Lovecraft, you do. Lovecraft, watch it in the daytime, sis. It's some weird crap happen on there, but it's good though.
Yeah, pull up, baby
so
girl.
Many layers.
Like I love the Emmett Till.
Yeah, I like how they linked that in.
That was dope.
Yes,
Like,
that's what I like how every
because
episode they found a way to like
like they
weave
had him
together like
Black
like how
history.
they have
Okay.
how they have described him like a fun, loving kid. Like he was like they put that in the previous episodes, and then the episode of his death, they put it on there like how his mother was so brave and putting his body out there with an open casket, showing what these people did to her son. Like that.
Yeah, and how the odor. Remember, I never thought about that. You know how
Yeah,
you hear the
like it was
story
the
of Emmett
hottest
Till,
day
but
of
to
the
know how it was
summer.
the hottest day.
It was the hottest day
in
of
the
the summer, and you could smell his body decaying. But
yeah,
and
yeah,
then they
you
were
know.
even talking about how this is a rite of passage for young Black children at this
Yeah.
time. Like you have to learn how to deal with the fact that your friends are going to be killed because this is the times we live in.
And
Like
it made you look at it from a different perspective.
The whole imagery of it was
And
amazing.
oh my God, that episode when they went back to Tulsa, the day of the massacre.
Stop! I'm stopping it.
You gotta watch it, Queen.
So how about this? I'm going to vow to watch Lovecraft, and then we'll do it.
For him to be the dude with the bat, that was, I think that was another full circle moment too.
I'm about to end
Y'all
it right
spilling
now.
Please
Y'all
do.
The only way I watched
everything.
is somebody
I
mentioned
mean,
it
I
on
can't believe how
Discord.
y'all are okay
binge
with
watched.
the real life stuff, but then the real life, like the Emmett Till stuff, y'all like, ooh, that's cool. But then when it comes to the monsters, y'all like, oh no, you know.
I'm not okay with either one. Like even like the video recently of Walter Wallace in Philadelphia, who was murdered. I couldn't even watch that. I couldn't even watch that. You know, like I can't tolerate in all the real life be horror sometimes for me.
Yeah.
I don't
Like,
like
see, that's me. I can't. The real life traumatic stuff is what I don't like. The horrors I'm fine with, but the real life traumatic stuff, I'm just like,
No, I couldn't watch that of him either. Like it was so unnecessary. And I'm from Kentucky with the whole Breonna Taylor thing going on. Like that's still going on. They've been marching for 190 days at this point. Like I can't.
Yeah.
Hey, do you mind
That's
if
the
I
real
give,
life horror.
do you mind if I give the word that I had earlier before?
We
Like,
said
it's a good message I would like to share with you ladies.
Okay.
Let's go.
So I think so it was for you guys to for it to be okay to love, you know? Like I feel like a lot of times us as Black people, we've been told that like like for me personally, like I've been rejected or kind of denied love. And with everything going on with this abuse, you know, the abuse that we've been going through, being highlighted, it's kind of like we're denied a lot of joy and stuff. But you know, like for me personally, like I've always been like one of the greatest like lovers in my family. Like I'm a Pisces, so like by nature, like I'm just a lover, and I've just loved so much. And because I've been rejected, sometimes it's hard for me to say it's okay to just love and to just enjoy loving, that just being in love or just loving somebody. So like I'm not sure if anybody else is receiving these blessings and are like, whoa, this is kind of crazy. Like I can't believe I'm getting so much love just out of nowhere, just out of all this. But it's kind of correlating with my blessings from this transition that we're going through. And so I just like, it's just really nice. And I just keep accepting it and just being amazed that I'm accepting these blessings, like being so close to my mom now, being so close to my dad now, being so close to my community, and having resources like Queen Poe or, you know, like Lovely T and whoever. So I hope you guys are feeling the same thing that the love that I'm feeling from just, you know, being.
I am.
I don't know, I talk a lot. Yes.
No, first off, I want to say I appreciate that. I appreciate you sharing that wisdom with us, because that's real. You know, being open to accepting love. A lot of us may not realize that we don't accept love the way we need to. You know, I remember when I was in college, a friend of mine, he told me, he had complimented me. And I used to be the person where someone would compliment me and I'd be like, oh, it's just, it's not a big deal. Oh, it's just a little, no. And I didn't realize that was rejecting the compliment. I was downplaying the thing that they would compliment me on. And that was a sign of not accepting love, not being open to love. And that could be caused by trauma, trauma that has happened in our life, that made us feel like it's not okay to be validated. It's not okay to be loved. It's not okay to be complimented. It's not okay to be the center of attention or to be the spotlight. We block that out. And then also, not only could it be caused by trauma, but it could also be caused by people doing wrong ego work, by people doing the wrong work when it comes to separating the ego. Some people think to separate yourself from ego, that means that you can't receive love, or you can't enjoy love. You can't enjoy compliments. You can't take that in. You can receive love and it not be a part of the ego. Love is a spiritual energy. It's a spiritual thing. So it can be caused by many things. Having a hard time accepting love could be caused by many things, but once you do the work to really be willing to accept that and really stepping into that, that's all a part of abundance, So thank you for that word, Corey. We appreciate that so much. I thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome.
So we can wrap it up, family. It's been a few hours, 4 hours. 4 hours. 4 amazing hours. 4 amazing hours. And this
I was gonna say we can go for more.
I'm telling you, this is what they really call time well spent. I've enjoyed every moment, every question, every answer, every piece of advice, and all the love, the laughs. I'm glad that we are able to do this, and we will do it again. We will do it again. So I recorded most of this. I didn't record the beginning, but I recorded most of this. I'm just going to post this whole thing in the wellness community. Previously, what I was doing was I was trying to chop it up and post it to YouTube and trying to block people's faces out for privacy. But for this whole thing, I'm not going to block anybody's face out because it'll be in the wellness community. So I'll post this whole thing in the wellness community as is, so that you can be able to go back and watch it and all of that. And, it'll stay within the community. I do ask that you don't share the link out with people who outside of the wellness community for confidentiality purposes. As you guys know, some intimate things were shared in this space. And once again, this is a safe, sacred space. So please don't share the link outside of the wellness community because, I don't want anybody's business to be in the street, So just be mindful. Thank y'all so much. I'm going to watch Love Craft.
I think
we should
do that once a month.
We should do absolutely. We will definitely
do this every month.
Yes.
And I have enjoyed every minute. I was
Can I say something?
Seeing people. I was driving. I was doing everything, but I was tuned in.
Yo, let me tell you. Listen, facts. Listen, fam. I've been at work. I was like, yo, they're gonna do this Zoom, and I gotta work. And then this is the night I work for my part-time job at a convenience store. It's dumb busy. When I clocked in, everything shut down. And I was like, what? And so an hour later, the boss was like, look, well, the person that's leaving before 11 can go. You can just stay there and lock the door. Dude did not come to fix anything until 9:30. So I was like, look at God working this out for me. It worked out. And I was just so you'll see me running when I had to run from the camera. I'm like, oh, look, sir, it's in the back on the right. You got it? Okay, good. I'm going to lock the door and I'm going back. So it worked out. And I was just I really didn't want to miss it. And then I came outside. I was like, yo, I don't even see the moon tonight. I know I got to get on this video. What's going on? And it worked out. Yeah. I'm thankful. I just the whole thing. Everybody was great. I love the questions. I didn't even really have to ask a lot like I did the last time because a lot of the questions were some of the things that I wanted to ask. And some of your answers gave me answers to questions I didn't know I had. So it was great. It was bad.
Yeah. And I'm so glad I came in late and I was like, oh man, I almost said, man, I missed too much. They're probably about to finish. Ha!
Just kidding.
No, we long-winded over here.
And then 3 hours later.
We're long-winded over here.
Right. Can you imagine I feel bad for the people who actually fed into that thought. Imagine the people who really thought, because the wellness community, you guys, there are literally hundreds of people who are signed up on the Patreon. There are hundreds, you know.
Wow.
So on the Zoom, we may have 30 or 40 for whatever reason. You know, I recognize that some people just follow me on YouTube and they subscribe just to be able to support, you know. But there are hundreds of people on the wellness community. So I'm sure there was somebody who was like, it's probably too late. I can't join it.
Yeah.
She only gonna do an hour. She keep her videos under an hour. I was in here for all of it.
Then they gonna see the link posted
at the mall, over the boyfriend, everywhere.
Wait till they hear this part.
Tuned in.
Right.
They probably gonna see the timestamp like, dang, they was still there. I could have been on, you know. But
You'll
we
do
should
next
not.
time.
Next time.
Queen, what were those 3 herbs again? I know you said
calendar.
Go ahead.
Marigold.
Rose.
Shit.
Marigold.
Marigold, because I got that.
And chamomile.
Marigold.
Yes.
Chamomile,
Okay.
marigold, calendula, and chamomile. And also, I want to just recommend for you guys, for some herbs, you know, if you don't have an herb shop, I know what it's like to not be close or live near an herb shop. You know, if you listen, I was in South Africa and couldn't get to a herb shop. Okay, I know what it's like. I recommend Yogi tea. Yogi tea. You can buy it off Amazon. Yogi is very good at isolating herbs. So they will have like a chamomile tea bag. They will have a kava tea bag. Kava is good for anxiety. So they will have like a chamomile tea bag, kava that's pure chamomile, pure kava, no additives. Some other brands, they'll have like, you know, chamomile, but it got like other stuff in there. They are very good. So just read the ingredients on the back of tea boxes, in any brand, but read the ingredients on the back of tea boxes, and you may be able to find the herb that you need in the tea box. Okay, so if you feel like you're having a hard time accessing certain things, like I know Yogi also has valerian. They have like, you know, a lot of pure herbs. So check them out if you have a hard time find anything. They also have a good woman's health herb too that has calendula in it, and it also has chamomile in it as well. So if you need to, you could cut the bag open and get the herbs out of the bag. Those are pure herbs that are in the tea bag. So you could cut the bag open and get the herbs out of the bag and use that.
Okay.
And then seasonings and herbs in the kitchen cabinet.
Yes, seasoning herbs in the kitchen
Your
cabinet.
kitchen can take you far.
Your kitchen is your healer. If your kitchen is not your healer, then that means that you need to revamp your kitchen. You know, I always say everything that you put on your body and in your body should be universal. You know, so what you are using to cleanse your hair, what you're using to cleanse your body, what you're using to eat, it should, for the most part, not everything, but for the most part, it should be universal. So your kitchen cabinet, your kitchen in general will hold a lot. Like there's power in lemons, oranges, apples.
Yes.
All of these can be put in your spiritual bath. All that stuff, fruits, vegetables, you know, kale, spinach, all of these things have absolutely, all of that has power. You cut
Yeah,
up a
that's
lemon.
what our ancestors used. They wasn't going back and forth to no botanicas. They would use what was in their, you know, gardens and what they grew and things like that. They didn't know anything about a botanica.
Absolutely. Come on, Orange Spoon.
Ginger and lime, that's forever. I use that all the time in my bath. Ginger is it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Ginger and lime in the bath to drink with, to do a floor wash. That's good for a floor wash too. Ginger and lime. Absolutely.
So those three you just gave, those are for what? The Yoni steam?
For what? The chamomile, the calendula, and the marigold?
Yes.
Yes, that's for the Yoni steam. For the Yoni steam.
Okay. And that's anybody can do that. You don't have to.
Anybody could do that. Anybody could do it. It's a, you know, the thing about vaginal steaming is in Africa, it's not known as vaginal steaming, it's root steaming, because men do it too. Okay, it's root steaming. So your root chakra is at the base, is at your base. So that's your anus, vagina, taint, that whole area, that's your root chakra. Okay, so it's a root steam really more than the vaginal steam. But of course, you know, here in America, we've popularized it as the V steam or the vaginal steam, but it really is a root chakra. It's a root cleanse.
So that's what the men steam their anuses.
Yes, men will steam their anus. Men is because it's not their
I
anus.
saw
It's
on the
their
Instagram. He went live and he was talking about he was a bit funny, but he was talking about how he was getting his vagina steamed.
yeah, men will go, and they usually do that for men who struggle with anger issues. Men who struggle with anger issues and men who have an overactive sex drive. So if a man is caught, you know, constantly cheating on his wife, stepping out on his wife, they'll do.
Chakra was unbalanced, so that's probably why his chakra wasn't balanced. So that's what they use it for, the balance.
You know, prepare him, sis. You know, prepare. But yeah, that's what they use it for. They use it for imbalance, and all of this stuff is used for imbalance. You know, once again, it's always about alignment. You know, it's always about alignment. So all of it is used to ensure that we are balanced and to ensure that we are well holistically. So spiritual baths, you know, steams, all of that stuff. And you could do a face steam as well. You know, you could breathe that in. You could boil it in a pot and hold your face over the pot, and you can breathe that stuff in, you know, and it's the same thing. It'll be a good cleanser for you. Cleanse the throat chakra, open up your third eye, you know, prepare your crown for the alignment. So you could do a face steam as well. And it's also good for your skin too. Open up your pores. If you are struggling really bad with like acne or blackheads or anything, you do a steam and you open up your pores, and it'll be easy to push out the blackheads and just to cleanse your skin, get a deep pore cleanse. So after you do the steam, you can wash your face to get a good deep pore cleanse. Use the baking soda and turmeric and wash your face. Do a deep pore cleanse, exfoliate, and then you'll be glowing. Do your coconut
Let me
oil.
ask you this. So how long should you stand over the pot or squat over the pot? Because
Until it
I did
stops steaming.
Until it stops? Okay.
Yep, until it stops steaming. Once it stops steaming, you get up.
Okay.
When it stops steaming, you get up. And for me personally, when it stops steaming, I'll get up, but I'll still use the tea. I'll still use the water, and I'll cleanse myself with that.
Okay, got you.
I'll cleanse myself with it.
Don't nobody else have a problem with urinating while they steaming?
I've never steamed, so
no.
I usually go to the bathroom before I steam, so I never had that issue.
But every time, as soon as I get over the steam, I gotta pee.
And so if you peeing, then don't use the water after, of course. But that is normal. That is normal. I have heard of people, you know, feeling the need to use the bathroom, you know, no matter what they got to do. I've heard of people, you know, doing that or feeling like they need to do that when they are steaming. And that happens. So essentially, with the steam, is going to relax the muscles. Yes. It relaxes the muscles. So steaming is also good for if you struggle with constipation. It's very good for that as well, because it's relaxing those muscles. So it's going to, whatever needs to come out, gonna come out.
Wow. Clearly, because I can be on the, like, I usually steam for 15 to 20 minutes. I do it every month after my cycle. And then I steam or whatever. But I can be over top of that steam for 2 seconds. I gotta pee. I can pee before. I done had a whole lot of kids though. My blood ain't worth a crap.
Yeah, do your Kegel. Do your Kegel, sis. Do your Kegel.
All of that, like, it's a thing. I get so annoyed.
Yeah. No,
I know of a lady that does, when after she has her cycle, she pours the blood into the earth. Is that good to do?
Okay,
so that is a thing.
That is definitely a thing that people do, but that's getting into blood magic, and that's something that you have to be super careful and super mindful of. Okay, you do not want to make a covenant with anything, you know, that you are not certain about doing blood magic. And the thing about pouring your blood or releasing your blood into the earth is you don't know what's buried in that land. You don't know which stories, what energy that land is holding. You know what I'm saying? You know how it's kind of like people be like, oh, this house is haunted, this space is haunted or whatever. I went to Savannah State University where, you know, there was always spiritual activity because Savannah State was on top of slave burial grounds, you know, so you never know what's in that land. So I wouldn't recommend doing that. You know, you don't know the history of that land. You ain't been there. Like I don't recommend doing that. But you know, I don't know the sister, I don't know her journey, to each its own. And once again, you got to do what your spirit leads you to. But any type of blood magic, even putting blood on your altar, some people will do that. Some people will put blood on their altar and things like that. And I've heard of that, and that is a normal practice. But it's a difference between using animal blood and your own personal blood. You know,
and menstrual blood, and it's menstrual blood too. So that's another whole thing.
Go ahead, Orange Moon, what were you saying?
I said there's even people that put it in food to attract the, you know, to for a certain man, you know what I'm saying? I've heard of people doing that as well.
I have too.
That's old hoodoo. That's old hoodoo work. That's old hoodoo.
I heard about it in middle school.
Yep, put a little blood in his spaghetti. You know, Mama used to say everything red ain't spaghetti, everything brown ain't gravy.
And all I'm saying is that even here in Kentucky, they was always talking about some, not even put it in his spaghetti, but put his toothbrush in your stuff while you're ministrating. No, I'm okay. I'll pass.
And my thing is, if you got to do all that to keep him, he probably ain't for you.
Right. No.
He probably ain't for you. If you got to do all of that, then he probably ain't for you. I don't want to have to put no spell on nobody for them to stay.
Like, do you hear me?
Yeah.
Do you hear me? Big facts. I'm not doing
I've heard
all
of
that.
people like using like their panties to like make a tea and give it to
Panties
the
make a
person.
tea?
Yeah, like they take their like used like underwear and they take like the boiling water and they basically pour that on top of the panties and have it come through into a cup.
So my question is this. When I take off my panties, they still smell like game. So what am I boiling?
You are really what it is you boiling your
intention.
It's the intention. It's the bodily fluids. It's your secretions. It's sweat. It's all, you know, anything, any type of bodily fluids that could be holding. You know, you went for a workout, you come back and boil your panties or whatever. You know, it's that. You know, that's what people
pass
do.
on that. That's cool.
I mean, I'm gonna pass too. You know.
Now I gotta tell you
take
this.
the panties off, they still smell like game. So I feel like
I tell you this. This young lady also on like the full moon. She'll howl at the moon. She'll get naked and howl at the moon. Now, I'm not going to do that in an apartment.
She's probably Wiccan. She's probably Wiccan. So Wiccan. I actually had studied. You said a werewolf. I actually studied with a sister who was Wiccan, and I was, you know, she taught me. I really just wanted to learn like what they do and how they got to where they are. And that's something that's a practice that they have, a full moon practice. They that's their way of communicating and giving thanks. They howl at the moon. So
with no clothes on.
Oh, they listen. I ain't gonna tell all their business because you know, with respect, some things are safe. Right. But I saw some stuff that I was like, "This some white people shit."
And do your thing. Do your thing, white people. We got black people shit. Y'all got white people shit. Do your thing. Okay.
Do your thing.
I'm not indulging. Okay.
You know, this will make you connect with your ancestors. You do that. But my ancestors, they didn't put that in, you know,
we connecting with the slaves and back then and from Africa and all that. They connecting with the slave masters. Do your thing.
Do what you feel comfortable. Do what you feel led to do.
Yeah. You know? And what is really
okay.
Well, I was gonna say what's really interesting is you know, I'm learning about hoodoo too, and how that's like our magic. Like that was what our ancestors did, like in slavery. And yeah, so it was like having that our form of magic and like what we do, and then have like, you know, so it's like I love how we have our own regardless with a lot
Absolutely.
So I learned that from Queen when I asked the question, what's the difference between hoodoo and voodoo?
Oh, you asked that, yeah.
Yeah.
So hoodoo is for African Americans. Hoodoo is our stuff. Wiccan is their stuff. That's their way of preserving spirituality for them. And hoodoo is how we preserved it for us. You know what I'm saying? So that's the, like, you know, they have their practices. So you'll see like the Wiccan witches, and you know, that's it. That's the where the term is misconstrued, because people say wicked witches of the West. It's Wiccan. Wiccan witches. That's where you have the Wiccan witches. And that's where they do their thing. I don't know if anybody saw American Horror Story, The Coven.
Yes. Oh, I love that. I love that.
They did a great job of telling that story. Marie Laveau, that's Marie Laveau is real, and that story, that battle between the white Wiccan witches and the practitioners was real. You know what I'm saying? So Marie Laveau, initially she was hoodoo, and then she was initiated voodoo. So that's where, you know, the story of Marie Laveau, if you studied it, or you can read Jambalaya by Yaya Tish, and she talks about it a lot. But Yaya Tish talks about her journey and her getting to know Marie Laveau through firsthand experience. And when I went to NOLA, you know, she showed us around, and she spoke to us, and we sat at her feet, and she told us the stories firsthand account, you know. So when I went to see Marie Laveau's grave, and we went to her house where she was and where she grew up at, and then they tell you the story of the battle between the Wiccan witches, the white women, and the hoodoo and voodoo Black sisters who were practicing and doing it, and it was really a battle. And then eventually they came together and worked together, but there was still some risks. And still this day within the spiritual witch community in New Orleans, there's still some ongoing battle amongst them. So that's a real story. You know, if you want to understand the depth and the history, American Horror Story did a good job of portraying that. Now there are some issues, and you'll see there's Papa Legba, who's portrayed as this blood-hungry, evil, demonic being. And they really took all the negative aspects or things about Papa Legba that people could take as negative. They really took that and highlighted that, which kind of, you know, was, to me, was fucked up. But other than that, it's a pretty good depiction and a pretty good story. So catch it if you can. I think it's on Netflix or Hulu or one of those streaming services.
It's on both. It's on both of them. But that season of American Horror Story was when that was the first time I heard of Marie Laveau and Papa Legba. And I was like, oh, wait, this is real. Because I watch it. So I know every season, there's, like, they put stuff in there that's like, no, that really happened. Yeah. And I decided to look it up. And I was like, oh, look at that. Okay.
That's the best season of American Horror Story to me, because I'm a little witchy, but yeah, I love that season.
Yeah, me too. I haven't made it fully through any other season, but that one. That was a good one. Look, Robbie like, But okay, y'all. So I'm gonna watch Lovecraft, and then we're gonna do this again next month. Probably during the new moon. Probably for the new moon next month. We'll do a new moon.
Let's do it.
That's and we'll talk about Lovecraft too. All right. All right.
Thank you, Queen.
We love you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Queen Paul.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I receive all that love. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. I appreciate it. And it's a date. Okay, it's a date. We're gonna do it next month. All right.
Oh, and the producer of Bad Hair is Justin Seaman. He did Dear
I
White
was trying
People.
to look it up. I couldn't find it.
He did
Justin
White
Seaman.
Hey, Corey.
Hey.
We see you now. When we get ready to go.
He did Dear White People. I love Dear White People too. Dear White People was a good book. The show, I like the first season of the show. The first season of the show was really good. But Dear White People was a good book. Read the book if you can.
Okay.
All right. Love
y'all.
Much love to you guys, family.
Love y'all.
Bye.
Keep that beautiful smile. Keep that beautiful smile.
Love you. Good night. Good night. Good morning.